is this where I'm supposed to say, what is all this about?
Hello, hello everyone.
Shut up,
That was
I
a
asked
bit
the
weird.
question.
Don't know what happened there. Welcome to Small Screen Live. This is the show where we talk about all the things pop culture related, movie news mostly, but we also talk about TV stuff and occasionally video games. Very occasionally. I am Edward Lauder. I am the host of the show. We've got Clint coming on later. We've got James he's back. He's producing. He's not left.
Yeah.
Why did I say he's back? He's not back. He's always
I'm very busy. What's going on?
He is very busy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. That'd be wonderful. If you can share this as well, this live as well, that'd be great. And also, you got lots of comments, lots of questions. Put them in the comments bit. We're going to be talking about the Batman. We're going to be talking about Picard Season 2. We're going to be talking about Charlie Cox and all the stuff he's been saying about Daredevil. We're going to be talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series as well. There have been some leaks as far as that series is concerned. No! don't F-word Batman, please. No.
Bat-thirst.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bat-thirst that's probably going to happen tonight as well. That's going to be fun. So we've got lots of stuff to talk about, lots of stuff on the docket. It's been quite a busy week, actually, as far as news is concerned. Who's in the chat? Let's see. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We've got Jedi Master EJ is in the chat saying hello there.
Hello, Peter. Hello there.
Hello there. We've got Lords of the Longbox saying hi, I'm high. That's good. That is very good. I am tired. I wish I was.
Wow.
Oh dear, maybe we shouldn't keep that one in.
Why? Because he got in a brawl fight?
I don't know what happened.
If that's
I
even
just saw
true.
he got arrested. I just saw he got arrested.
Everyone is going with that story, but like the Spain officials haven't said anything yet.
Okay. I just saw that was. I think that was. Wasn't that Clint that shared that news story?
Yeah,
it's like, what's happening? Oh well. Hopefully that's all right and just a big misunderstanding. We've got in the chat, we've got Multiverse Productions in the chat saying hello there. You guys
call it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
Call it, Sanchez, or get a knuckle supper. Oh, I do miss that one. Who else do we have? We have Dan Plum in the comments saying hashtag lurk crew. That's brilliant. Maybe we should get Dan to come on the show in a bit as well if he's lurking in the shadows. We have that James guy saying hello to the early lurking crew. And Sean Harrigan says happy Cocainum Friday all. Cocainum. Brilliant. We also have Bakertown saying aloha Friday, folks. Aloha to you. Family. What is going on?
The interface glitched out and or maybe my mouse inverted like yours did.
Honestly, there's been some. There are gremlins. There are gremlins in the system. We also have Bobby Anderson saying hello, friends. Hello to you, Bobby. I hope you're doing very well. And she also says hi to Plum, Curtis, James, and others. Yes, hello to everybody in the chat. That James guy loves to bring up his own comments saying, remember to hit that like button. Yeah. I see him giggling in the behind the scenes there. Socks Bulletin saying hello all. Hello to you, Socks Bulletins. Right, who else do we have? We have Dan Zig saying greeting, fellow humans. That sounds like you're not a human. That's the kind of thing that an alien would say. Be like, greetings, humans. Is it? Oh dear. Who else do we have? We have Tony Tornado. Is that your real name? Because that's a brilliant name, if so. Saying it's nice to see small screen going live more often. Yeah, well, we do it once a week, and I do small screen stories occasionally. I try and do that as much as I can, but that doesn't go live on YouTube. That's only on Facebook and Twitter. Sorry, Facebook and Twitch. Yes, but we do love going live with you guys. Who are we have? We have Chubby Teddy Monster Productions. Great name. And saying just, hey, James, what about us? What about, why don't you say hey to myself and also hey to Clint? You know, because it's not just James. In this
Shut
show.
up.
And we have Cuppy Malik saying, hello, everyone. Hello to you. Hello to you, Cuppy Malik. Spooky Bats saying, hello, hello, hello. Hello to you, Spooky Bats. Mwah. And then we have, is that everything? Is that everybody? We have, again, Tony Tornado saying, I wish it was my real name. Yeah.
I gotta say, that's a great name. I saw it in the comments of the Batman video we posted this morning. I was like, that reminds me of Tony Tasty from La Costa Nostroid. Dan Harmon, before he did Rick and Morty, he did that comic book.
Yes, he did. Yeah. That was a while ago now. Right. And then, thank you. Thank you to Chubby Teddy Monster Productions saying hi, Ed. But don't forget Clint either. Do say hello to Clint as well.
You're fired.
He is also part of this team. Right. Talking of Clint, should we bring Clint in to say hello to everybody? Or is what's James doing?
You're late.
Traffic.
There you go.
Hello
How are you
there.
doing, Clint?
What's happening?
I'm good. I just woke up from a brief 30-minute nap after having seen the Batman for the third time.
Woohoo! Dude, that's a party right there, man.
Yeah, I've never seen a movie in the cinema 3 times before. But this week, because I'll have to explain to you how it works where I am. Basically, I pay a monthly subscription to my local cinema, and it means I can go to as many screenings as I want with a guest, and I pay a certain amount of money for that. And there were 3 people that wanted to see this movie with me, which meant that I had to go and see it 3 different times because they couldn't all come at once.
It's a tough job, man, but somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I calculated I spent 9 hours of my life watching the Batman, but it's worth it.
9 quality hours, dude. That sounds amazing. I did that back in the late 90s when Chasing Amy came out. Robert, remember that movie?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Smith movie, Chasing Amy. I saw that 3 times in 3 days. Except I paid every single time I went. Kevin Smith, thank you.
Yes,
I was like Robert Smith. Oh, he's from The Cure.
Yeah. The Cure.
I saw The Matrix 5 times in the theater, and I saw Blade 7 times in the theater.
Woo! Yeah. I saw Pulp Fiction 5 times, and I saw Braveheart, I think 5 times.
Man, I miss watching Braveheart on VHS because the first tape, it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, oh, I gotta get that tape.
he's back. He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, but no, I have to. I don't tend to do it that often because I get quite bored quite easily. And I was worried that was going to happen to me with the Batman, but I really did not. It's I know that movie very well, and now I feel I've never done it. I've never seen a movie more than twice at the cinema, and
wow.
Yeah, wow. I've got other things to do.
I'm with you, man. Like I've thought about it. I thought about going to see Spider-Man No Way Home again.
I saw that twice. Yeah, I saw that twice. Not 3 times though. I don't think. To be honest, I mean, we'll talk about this in more detail in the Batman segment of the show. But I don't think
No Way Home. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, but I don't think No Way Home warrants more than 2 viewings. I think the Batman does. I don't think No Way Home does. Yeah. Should we? Let's. Okay. What do we want to talk about first? Yes. Because James is running the show and he doesn't want us to start off with the Batman, even though I'm desperate. I'm just dying to talk about.
You're chomping at the bit. I think first on the queue was Beetlejuice, wasn't it?
Beetlejuice, yes, Beetlejuice. I think they're going to call it Part 2. Beetlejuice 2.
Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian.
Beetlejuice goes. I'd love it if they come up with a funny name for this movie.
Part Deuce.
Part Deuce. There you go. Yeah, hasn't been greenlit or anything. It's just the studio called Plan B Entertainment, which is Brad Pitt's studio, movie studio, wants to go ahead and make it. Now, it would still technically be a Warner Brothers production, but Plan B would be like basically the studio that makes it, and Warner Brothers would bankroll it. What do you think of this news? And do you, first off, two questions: do you want the movie, and do you think it'll be made? There you go.
Oh, hell yes, I want the movie. Do I think it'll be made? I don't know. It could be made fairly cheaply. You wouldn't need to go nuts on this movie. And, like Plan B, they made World War Z and, and stuff. I think they picked a cult movie. Like, people love this movie. Everybody loves Beetlejuice. Now, the question is this going to be a situation like, Anchorman 2 or Dumb and Dumberer, or something like that. Like, if they
that movie.
Yeah, if you don't have like the right cast, the surviving cast members in this movie, well, you could spin it off a couple of different ways. But if you don't have Michael Keaton, don't even waste your time. Don't do like a Dumb and Dumberer where they didn't even have the original guys. Like, don't do that. So if you got as long as you got Michael Keaton though and Winona Ryder, I think you could do this. You could say, okay, she's all grown up now and everybody else is dead. And I think that the new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie proved that this movie could be successful. I mean, they did a good job of changing the story a little bit, moving it into the future. So yeah, I think they could do this. And I feel like I'm having a familiar rant because I heard another show talking about this stuff, but it's totally true, man. Like and the other day I was at work and I was making a joke about somebody showing up and saying his name, and I started going, Beetlejuice, and I had everyone in the building was turning around and smiling, and I was like, wow, dude, just saying that. And I said it again, and everyone in the room, and there was probably 30 people in the room, and everyone again turned around and smiled, and that was kind of a flag. Like, man, people really love this movie. It's not just me. I've been Beetlejuice for Halloween. I love Beetlejuice. Like, I love that show, and I talked about it. I think. In one of the small screen things, I think I just
Halloween
talked about
special.
Yeah, it was a Halloween special,
yeah.
and I talked about that. I love Beetlejuice. Like, I would practically get a Beetlejuice tattoo. I love Beetlejuice.
My mom
You have said it so many times now. The name.
Yeah,
so
I'm just trying to make him. I'm trying to make him
up.
appear. Yeah, I'm trying to make him appear. And hopefully, if we say the name enough times, the movie will get made and he will show up. That's my hope. But yeah, the short answer to an easy question is yes, I want to see this. And do I think it could be successful? I do think it could be successful. I think they could screw it up like they screw up a lot of remakes if they don't do it right. But Michael Keaton's still got it, dude. He's like, and he's getting up there in age. They need to hurry up there and make it. But like, if you've seen any of the stuff that he's been in recently, he's still sharp as a tack. He's still got it. He's not like which, not to speak ill of any other people, but we're going to talk about Picard later. I'm starting to see his age in his performances, and God bless him. And I have all the respect for Patrick Stewart in the world. He's one of my favorite actors, but I'm starting to see, I'm like, man, it's tough to see your heroes getting old. But Michael Keaton, he's still got it, man. I think, and to be Beetlejuice, you have to be sharp as a tack. You got to be on fire. Cause that character is all about quick delivery and just sporadic energy. And I'm ready. Let's see it. Let's have some Beetlejuice. What do you think about it?
I was also Beetlejuice for Halloween. It was like an amazing costume. My mom made it for me. But I wanted to ask a question. Like, do you think they'll be passing the torch in this film if they do a second Beetlejuice?
To like a younger Beetlejuice?
Well, I mean, who's
Jr.?
to say he's the only ghost exorcist in the underworld?
Yeah. I mean,
I hope they don't, but I mean, that seems to be the trend in Hollywood films, right?
Yeah, it seems, unless they figure out some way to have like a CGI version, and they start using deep fake Luke Skywalker technology and fake his voice, and all of a sudden they're making like, get some young guy who's got the energy of a young Jim Carrey / young Michael Keaton to do this. But honestly, dude, I don't think you could fake Michael Keaton.
No. What if they get Winona Ryder? She dies and then she becomes a new Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that because I don't think she's not quirky and crazy enough unless she's
Well,
shoplifting. I should have said that. But she.
Did you see her in the first season of Stranger Things 1? She was.
I mean, she's great.
11 from the first scene. Yeah,
she's great at being a manic mom who's like worried. But as far as being like, hey, I've lived through the Black Plague, I've seen Exorcist 167 times. It keeps getting crazier every time. I'll try out for Beetlejuice,
Maybe
but I don't think that. Yeah. But throw me some Red Bulls and let's party. But no, like to recast Beetlejuice, you might as well just get rid of this whole thing.
Yeah,
it's like
and it wouldn't serve Winona Ryder's character, to be honest. In the first film, she's actually very monotone in that first movie. That's what her character really is. She's emo before emo was even a thing.
Yeah,
and I think they might have to keep that. I think in the article actually, I think it does say that the likelihood is that they would both come back for this movie, and they've both been. Yeah, it's revealed a while ago that they both had agreed to return for the sequel. This sequel has been in development for years.
Ages.
Like the script has been written and rewritten, and then it's one of those things that it's kind of like the kind of holy grail for a lot of these people that's involved in it. And I think if they were to do it, you couldn't really do it without Tim Burton being involved in some way, either as the director or as just like a producer or executive producer. You definitely want him to be involved. I'm seeing some people in the comments throw up other ideas of directors like Guillermo del Toro and people like that. I would love that, but I don't think he'd ever do it.
I don't think he's in. Hold on, I got to let my dog out of here. I'm sorry.
I don't.
Sorry.
I would like to see Tim Burton as executive producer. I don't think I'd like to see him as director, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, but his films lately have just been like his over reliance on CGI, and I don't know. He doesn't really get the creep factor or the. I know his visuals have gone a different route than what we all are think of Tim Burton.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and his directing too a bit. But I love him. Yeah. I'm like a huge fan, and it would be cool to see him return. But I would want some restrictions on the level of CGI. But with him he gets the director's carte blanche, right?
Yeah. So I think you're definitely right with that. Like, and a good example of where Tim Burton's been going recently is kind of with the Alice in Wonderland movies. And he only did one of them, but that for me was the first time I watched a Tim Burton film and thought, "Ooh, I'm not really on board with this stuff anymore," which is a bit of a shame because I rewatched Beetlejuice not too long ago. And it's like the practical effects, everything about that movie, like the miniature work as well that's in that film, is just, it's so whimsical. And that's the stuff about Tim Burton that I really do love. And I do feel like, I think in recent years, yeah, you might be right, James, he's lost that a bit, which is such a shame because he's still one of my favorite directors of all time. I'm very interested to see what he does with this Wednesday series he's doing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But again, that's the Addams Family, and they're turning it into a franchise. And Bakertown says it's not a franchise; they don't need to pass the torch. But it's Hollywood, so they're going to try and make it a franchise as much as possible. And Spooky Bats is gonna. Oh, I guess she's not coming in. She really wants to weigh in. I sent her the link. So, anyways. And Clint, you're muted for some
Clint,
reason.
you're muted. I think your mic's muted.
Beetlejuice is about Beetlejuice, though. You know what I mean? And it's like even with Pirates of the Caribbean, you think, dude, there's no way you could recast Captain Jack Sparrow. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. But it's about pirates. You could go off and make it about Keira Knightley's thing, and it diverges. But this is about Beetlejuice. Like, it's about the character. So how do you that's like making a Tootsie, that's an old reference, Tootsie sequel to a movie about Tootsie, but it's not about Tootsie, but they're still going to call it Tootsie. Like they could do a spin-off and call it like, Afterlife or something,
franchise.
Afterworld, and it's still related. And maybe you get some cameos from some of the weird characters and or something like, I don't know, the furniture that moves around. but as far as Beetlejuice without, that's a weird one. But you could,
We said that about other franchises too, which not coming to my head right now, but like they have done it. They've rebooted. Look, they did Annie. Anyways, I don't want to get into that, but here's Spooky.
Beetle Jr. and you could have it like that Pet Detective Jr.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Ace Ventura.
And it's like a toddler saying it's showtime, and I want to punch the little kid in the face.
Home Alone.
I never said that algorithm. I was speaking metaphorically. Do not. I'm not condoning violence, especially on dead children. Now it's just getting really weird.
Wow, Clint, you and let's hear what you get.
I'm talking about Beetle Kid. Yeah, I don't know, man. It would be really hard. I don't think Tim Burton is even connected to this.
And I haven't heard anything about it.
From when I heard about it, I don't think he's gonna. I think they're gonna use somebody else, which is good. Get somebody else that's trying to mimic the. It's all the recipe. It sounds like all the recipes for a failure, but if you get the right guy, I think it could be cool. In the same way that they've got what's his name? Mangold? Is that his name? Directing the Indiana Jones movie that's coming up, and so it's like, hey, they got somebody good who's doing this. It's not Steven Spielberg. I have faith. If they show up with someone cool, hey, maybe they can make this thing cool, But again, you throw Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder in it, it's going to be all right,
All right, Spooky, what do you got to say?
First, Edward, it wasn't emo, it was goth.
That's true. That is true. I'm thinking more about Batman with emo.
Yes, exactly. But no, in my thought process is, again, I agree with James. I think Tim Burton as executive producer would probably be best because, the first one was all him, right? But with the CGI thing, it could be that it takes Tim Burton back to his original roots where he's working with claymation and stuff like that.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
It would be because, the first one, it had a lot of claymation and stop motion animation in it, And in the second one, it could be a little cleaner, a little nicer, but at the same time, still in that realm of the original. Not necessarily with the original actors, but definitely kind of like pass the torch, like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Fantastic movie, by the way.
It is a really good film. That's one of the very rare instances of like a sequel actually working for such a beloved kind of original movie. So that's a good reference point.
Exactly. And one of the things that they could do is something similar, like with Ghostbusters Afterlife, bring original characters back is, kind of like an ode to the original.
Yeah.
Not necessarily be the full thing, but definitely like do a reboot kind of thing, And it's hard for me to say that because I'm really against reboots.
Yeah,
they still got Catherine O'Hara. She's been kicking ass in Schitt's Creek and stuff. She's awesome.
She's amazing. She's great in all those Christopher Guest mockumentary films too.
Yeah, Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin are still kicking.
Alec Baldwin is got his. I don't know if they'd want to bring him back. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think anybody would want any of the Baldwins.
Yeah.
Just have Daniel Baldwin play his part or something.
Oh dear.
They have to have a Baldwin if they have to.
Thank you, Spooky.
Thank you.
Bye, Spooky.
Bye.
Good job, baby.
I think it's a really interesting story, and the fact that it's Plan B that's interested in making this actually also makes me interested in seeing this, because they they only tend to do pretty good movies. Like I'm looking at the films that they've made, and like a lot of them are Brad Pitt films. Like you said, World War Z, 12 Years a Slave. Brad Pitt has a very small cameo in that. Ad Astra, which was a film that I wasn't crazy about, but I really did like how it looked. So this makes me think like this is a good sign that a studio like Plan B would be interested in making this sequel. They've also worked with Tim Burton before. They worked on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory together, apparently. So there are some positives about this story, and it's the most positive story about Beetlejuice 2 that I've heard in a long time. Which I'm hopeful for this, and I think I'm hoping that they'll bring in an actual, like a very hopefully a talented maybe young director that's got some interesting ideas about stuff that they could do with the stop motion animation, like as Spooky said. I think that's a really good point. And then also Michael Keaton seems to be coming back to his roles that he did in the past. He's playing the Batman again in multiple times, and he's really good in Dope Sick. If you haven't watched Dope Sick, he's brilliant in that. So yeah,
I guarantee you, if they do this, they're going to be like, look, okay, we're going to bring in Lydia. Lydia is going to be a grown woman. She's going to have some kids that are like Stranger Things era. They'll be able to, and you're going to have some execs say, guys, let's do exactly what they did in Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is my exec voice. And they got a new cast of kids, and we're going to pull them in. It's going to be based around the kids, and mom's going to, mom will be involved because she knows Beetlejuice, but there's going to be some weird shenanigans. The kids are going to find the map of, or the model of the town or something up in the attic, and then one of the kids accidentally says the B word, and then mom is like, oh no, not again, and then he's gonna be like, hey there, I haven't seen you in a while, how you doing? And like next thing you know, it's gonna be the kids let the cat out of the bag, and mom's gonna help fix it, and it's gonna be Stranger Things with a bunch of kids with Beetlejuice in it. It's what's gonna happen. I guarantee you. And hopefully you get a whole new cast. Now how you're not going to be able to make movies forever with Michael Keaton doing this. So how they keep this franchise going, that's a different story. I don't know, but I think that's something like what's going to happen. And you're going to have Lydia, a mom now.
Yeah. I think you're right. Hopefully they're not thinking too much of this as like a franchise, and more like a standalone movie that's just happens to be a follow-on from a very beloved. When did that movie come out? The first Beetlejuice, was it? It would have been in the 80s, wouldn't
88.
It?
Actually, it was in 1988.
But so it was a year before Batman. He did that. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, I'm hopeful that it'll happen, and if it's been so long that hopefully they've got the script just right, and they're lining it up. It's good news, I think, for all us Beetlejuice fans. If it ends up being rubbish, then that'll be sad. But then again, you can always go back and watch the original.
They're gonna make it a franchise.
They're gonna, especially if it's successful. If it's successful, they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
they already started with the cartoon way back then, right? And the toy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a good cartoon I actually quite liked.
And this is a hot time for Michael Keaton right now. It's like in his age, the guy's like around 70, and he's like, right now he's still got energy. He's still kicking ass. He just did this thing on this series. We played a doctor. I think it was on. Dope Sick. He nailed it on that. He's doing. He's in both DC and Marvel. He's got a lot going on, and he's killing it. He's about to do the what is the Batgirl series on HBO, and it's a whole bunch of stuff that he's doing. And this is it. He's like, all right, I'm hot. People still love me. Let's do this. And I feel like this is one of his most beloved characters that he's ever done. I think he's going to be happy to knock it out. Again, let's just hope they can do it quick.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think he's currently filming the HBO Batgirl movie. It's going to be a movie. And he's also going to be the Flash. We're going to get to see him in Morbius as well, which he filmed some additional scenes for that as well. So it looks like they want more of him as what's it, Adrian Toomes in that movie. So yeah, he's got a lot of stuff coming. Like he's got all that stuff coming out. That at the moment, that's like Batgirl is the last thing he's got going, but I'm pretty sure he's lining up all his other stuff. So he's having a bit of a renaissance again, which is nice. I mean, he was again one of the films I saw in 2020 that I loved was the Trial of the Chicago 7. He has a very small part in that movie, but he's very good in it. And I just love the guy. I think he's brilliant.
Did you see The Protege?
I didn't see The Protege. I heard good things about it.
So it's a great show. Yeah, it was a great show, and he's moving around doing action scenes and like full on brawling, like fighting and gun scenes and flipping over tables and all kinds of stunt work in this. I'm sure he had a stunt double, but still, it's like I mean, you don't think, oh, hey, there's a 70-year-old man trying to run around and act like he's a hitman or or whatever. He's kicking ass, man. That's what's got me excited about seeing what he does in the Batman position on all of these projects that he's working on.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see him in the suit again. And he was good in The Founder, the McDonald's story.
Oh yeah,
and some of my favorite roles are in the Elmore Leonard films, like Jackie Brown and Out of Sight, where he plays the FBI agent or the DEA agent. He's great in that too. Yeah. There's
for me, it's like. One of the things that me and my friends love is a movie called The Other Guys, and he's in that. He's the police chief that moonlights as he's also like the manager of some store as well in that movie, and he's just really funny in that film. And he's like, there's so many lines that he keeps on referencing. What's the name of the band that sung the song? Is it Waterfalls or something? Is it?
TLC.
TLC. He keeps on like referencing TLC songs, and then the guy's like, "Seriously, you don't know what you're doing?" He's like, "No, it's just don't go chasing waterfalls, man. It's just a normal thing to say." He's so good in that. I love Michael Keaton.
Is that with Will Ferrell and
it's
Mark
the
Wahlberg?
Will Ferrell and Mark
that
Wahlberg
movie's hilarious.
It's really funny.
His plain wife. I apologize for my wife. She's so plain.
It's Eva Mendes, isn't it?
Eva Mendes, one of the hottest, most beautiful creatures on earth. He's like, yeah, I apologize for my wife's appearance. That's your wife? He's like, yeah, I know, she's plain. So funny.
He used to be a pimp.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. That is an Adam McKay movie, I think, and it was like, I think it's Adam McKay, and it's such a weird film, but it's so funny, and he's very funny in it.
It's fantastic. If you guys haven't seen The Other Guys, go see it. Check it out. It's really funny.
It has a great beginning scene with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson, where they play like hard like ridiculous cops, and then they both end up killing themselves by jumping off the building at the beginning. And I think it's hilarious. I think that movie's hilarious. I watched it quite a lot. Prince Zodiac says Gator the pimp, because that's his name. It's Gator. That's his pimp name. Oh dear. Anyway, should we move on? Let's move away from Michael Keaton and onto another person that's having a bit of a renaissance at the moment. Is Brendan Fraser. We're talking of the Batgirl. He's going to be playing Firefly in that movie, and do you want to? I think James, you might be able to bring that up. No,
I will. You went off script there. Sorry, I'll be.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was going backwards from Beetlejuice on the running.
I thought we were doing Obi-Wan next.
We'll do Obi-Wan. I want to give Obi-Wan more time, so I'll just quickly go over the.
I thought we were doing Firefly next.
Yeah, we are doing Firefly.
I'm just kidding. Who's on first?
We're doing Brendan Fraser in the Firefly suit on the Batgirl
base.
Yeah,
I have not seen the suit. but I've heard it's fantastic, and I'm a big fan of Brendan Fraser. Like I love the man. I think he's fantastic, and I can't wait to see him in this role. What do you think?
I can't wait. I love him in Doom Patrol. That's all I'm gonna say. And we can't actually show it because we might get a strike.
Oh, we don't want that.
Well, even just show the tweet. You can't show the tweet.
We will probably get it. We might get a strike.
Oh dear, I didn't know.
Not officially licensed.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
Well, just know that Firefly is a lighting expert, and he makes things bright.
Just kind of like in a steampunk suit.
Yeah.
We'll go to the website and look at it after the show. That's what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. He's basically in full Firefly costume. If you know the character at all, if you played like the Arkham video games, you might know him from those video games. He's a what's it called? Is it a pyromaniac? Someone that he likes to burn things. And
Garfield Linz
sounds like we're gonna get
Garfield Linz is his real name. The character's name, and he has vengeance against Batman and Nightwing because this is in the comics. Because when he wasn't all burned up and scarred and everything, but when he was fighting them, there was an accident, and then that's why he wears a full suit now because he's all burned up and scarred. I don't know if they're going to do that in the Batgirl movie.
What? The thing with James is that I'm actually really interested in listening to what he has to say. And then
this is like the time to keep talking.
Yeah, because he knows more than either of us about what goes on in the comics because he's read tons of them.
Always leave him wanting more. You just don't want to always keep going on over the same point.
Okay. Well, anyway, he looks cool. You go and have a look at the article on the site. I didn't know that we might get a copyright strike. But he's such a good actor, Brendan Fraser, and he's going through something of he's going to be in a Martin Scorsese movie. He's brilliant in Doom Patrol. I'm hoping he's going to be fantastic in this movie as well. And I can't wait to see this Batgirl film. Well, what about you, Clint?
I'm excited, dude. Like all of the new everything, all the new DC stuff has been really fun. You know what I mean? With the everything. I've been excited about everything, and most everything is paid off. It's all been good. Like Google. Yeah, I'm excited. There he is.
There he is. Yeah.
Again, Brendan Fraser is such a talented guy. I used to take him for granted when I was younger, and I really came to like the Mummy series and stuff. To me, it was a little bit too campy, and I was like, this is like a poor man's Indiana Jones. Yeah, you know, and I was just like, meh. But now, after like seeing him in Doom Patrol, he's so good in that. It's almost kind of like when you see okay, geez, what's his name? From Full House, who just passed away.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. Yeah. Later, as he got older and he had this more mature humor, all of a sudden I was like, hey, dude, I like him a lot more. And it's kind of did that with Brendan Fraser too, where all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, all right. And this guy, I don't know. He just kind of grew. Maybe I just grew. We grew into each other's zones. Like all of a sudden I have an appreciation for him. And I also, I like the comeback kid story for him, where he's had some tough years, and he's shown me recently that he's like a talented guy. He wasn't just some guy that was a flavor of the week. He's a really talented guy, and I'm glad to see him getting some work and doing well. So I hope this series is badass. I hope he keeps getting a lot more roles, and I think he's got something with Scorsese coming up too.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
The movie is Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a movie that's being directed and produced by Martin Scorsese. He's got a role in that, and he's been. I mean, to be honest, Brendan Fraser's career is such a. He started off being probably one of the most well-known actors in Hollywood. Like, he started off with things like the Mummy series, and then before that, he was George of the Jungle as well. He did all those things, and
Encino Man.
Yeah, and like he really kind of.
I love Encino Man.
Yeah.
Gotta get the greenage and the funded.
I mean, he's an actor that really threw himself into it, and like he's spoken at length about how he basically ruined his body on the Mummy movies, because he did all his practically all his own stunts, and really probably shouldn't have done. And then he had personal issues, and he's obviously put on quite a bit of weight since like he was doing the Mummy films and stuff. But I'm really happy to see him back and doing more, like doing really interesting stuff as well. Like I remember watching there was a show that he was in, and this was before Doom Patrol. It was The Affair, and he was in that for a couple of episodes. And I remember watching that with my parents and thinking, or it's a bit of a weird show to watch with your parents, but they really loved it. And I was like, God, I haven't seen Brendan Fraser do anything for such a long time. And he is so good in that show. Really, really good in that show. He plays he's like not a warden, he's like a prison guard in that. He's just really, really good. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of him. And this Batgirl movie sounds really interesting. It's being directed by the guys that did Bad Boys for Life. Abdul Arbi and Billy Fallow. I'm going to get their names wrong. And it's they're working off a script by Christina Hodgson, who is the woman that she wrote the Birds of Prey movie. So it's got some good things going for it. Leslie Grace as Barbara Gordon, J.K. Simmons coming back as Commissioner Gordon. So I'm looking forward to this show. It's not a show, it's a movie. Why do I keep on saying a show?
Yeah, and I think HBO, like all the stuff that's going on HBO is it's HBO caliber. You know what I mean? Like they showed that with the recent Suicide Squad or what's his name, Peacemaker series.
Yeah,
where it's like, okay, it's not like you think, oh yeah, DC stuff. Oh, it's gonna be like CW stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like this is gonna be good.
I'm looking forward to it. Right, should we move on to what was actually next on the docket? Here we go. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series plot details leaked. Oh dear! Again, spoilers,
Woo-hoo!
Spoiler warning. It comes from Making Star Wars, and to be honest, they're all Star Wars based, and as far as anything Star Wars is concerned, they're pretty solid. And they've come up with hopefully not come up with, but they've released a whole like plot details thing about what's going on in this show. So the show is going to see Ewan McGregor.
Want to ask Clint, did you read this? Have you read the plot details?
I read, if you're talking about Nari, the Jedi Straggler, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm just going to ask if you want spoilers or not, because I'm going to mute.
No, you're not. You can't spoil me, dude. You can tell me. You can tell me everything that's going to happen, and I'm in. I'm trying to soak up as much input so that I can put together and predict what's going to happen. So you can't spoil me. You can't spoil me, pal.
You can't spoil me. Right. If James, you're on mute. Yeah, James is muted because he's I'm
good. I'll do it for Batman, but not this. I'll just warn the audience.
Again, take this with a slight pinch of salt because it might not be the exact plot details. But the thing is that if you remember a couple years back, Making Star Wars were the ones that leaked the beginning of The Force Awakens with the severed hand. And apparently that was the original. That was what was in one of the drafts of the script. So they must have seen something, and they must have some pretty decent sources. But this series is going to see Ewan McGregor come back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hayden Christensen's coming back as well as Darth Vader. You got Joel Edgerton and Bonnie. Pronounce it Bonnie Peace? I don't know. But they played Luke's auntie and uncle in the prequels, so they're coming back.
I want to know who Ice Cube is going to be. Who the hell is Ice Cube going to be? Ice Cube's cast in this for something.
Really?
It doesn't say.
No, it's that's on Google, isn't it? And if it's on,
it's on Google.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that. I don't think Ice Cube's been cast in it.
I wondered if he was like some alien or something in makeup. Like
It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool if he wasn't. Maybe he just plays a stormtrooper like all the other.
Maybe. But this whole series, I think, is going to be directed by Deborah Chow, and she's working off a script by Joby Harold. Anyway, going on, I'm giving you enough backstory about who's involved in this. So apparently, the series will focus actually around a young Jedi named Nari, who's actually trying to track Obi-Wan Kenobi down. She will end up forcing him to come out of his self-imposed exile on Tatooine. So apparently she gets the message that Kenobi sent out to all the remaining Jedi after the events of Order 66 in Revenge of the Sith, if you remember that, which is where all the stormtroopers, all the clones suddenly turned around and murdered all the Jedi. And apparently Kenobi's on some special mission of his own, but Nari's presence puts that mission into jeopardy. And Kenobi's main goal in life, following the events of Revenge of the Sith, is to hide and protect Luke Skywalker. So that, I think, is the mission. Apparently, the fact that Nari tries to find him then brings some of the members of Darth Vader's Inquisitors, specifically the third sister and fifth brother, onto Tatooine, and they sense his Kenobi's presence due to Nari's recklessness. So then they start interrogating people on Tatooine, and this prompts Joel Edgerton's Owen Lars to warn Kenobi. Kenobi then sends Owen Lars, probably his wife as well, and Luke away from the planet to protect them whilst he deals with the Inquisitors on Tatooine. So that to me sounds pretty like a pretty legitimate plot leak. I don't know. What do you make of that, Clint?
I think it sounds crazy. I'd also heard things in the past about the Inquisitors possibly coming after Leia somewhere, and the reason he leaves the planet is to help assist Bail Organa in protecting or going to retrieve Leia or something like that. I heard some those are some other theories, but this is super cool. The idea that you have a Jedi that survived Order 66 that's going and trying to get Obi-Wan to help him like revive the Jedi, and then he's ignoring this Jedi because he's got to protect Luke from afar, and he's denying, and he's trying to keep on the DL. It's an interesting story. And then they even talk about him seeing the body of that, like he didn't help this other Jedi, and then that Jedi died. That's some serious drama. You know what I mean? So that's like going to be like, he's going to have some regret, but he had to stick to his mission to protect Luke. It sounds like some interesting, if this is real, it sounds like some interesting storytelling. Also, there's a story about Black Chrysanthemum, going after and fighting it with Owen, Uncle Owen, at some point. So I wonder if that's going to happen, and basically Obi-Wan basically has to fight Black Chrysanthemum and stuff in the comics. So I wonder, since they've introduced that character, if he's going to pop in too. That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that happened in the comics. I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but anyway, all in all, sounds like an interesting story. Throwing the Inquisitors in, and having them go around, that's an interesting thing that we've only seen a little bit of. So just to get a chance to see some more of that, to get a chance to see the young Darth Vader in his prime, when he's in the doing the most ruthless stuff. This is just like we saw in Rogue One at the end. Like, what a great time to see Darth Vader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite few minutes of Star Wars, period. So and there's supposed to be the Hayden Christensen cameo, which I guess they're going to give him some platform shoes so he can be a tall as Darth Vader. I'm all in all, I'm excited. And also, I feel like Ewan McGregor doesn't mess around with B team material. You know what I mean? He elevates things to a higher level just being on the project. But all in all, I imagine if they're going through with making this show and having him be involved and everything, I feel like this is going to be fantastic. I don't think he would be doing it if it sucked.
No, I agree with everything you just said. I do think this Nari character, I have a suspicion that she might be played by Naomi Scott. There were some rumors a while back that there are some rumors a while back that she was connected to this, attached to this this series. I think she's great. She's a really good actress. If you haven't seen, she's in the Power Rangers movie. She's in Aladdin as well. She plays Jasmine in Aladdin. She's brilliant. So I hope that is true. The other rumor is that I heard that Rupert Friend is going to be playing an Inquisitor, so he might be the fifth brother. As for some reason that turned off behind me. That's great. But yeah, so it's a series that I'm really looking forward to seeing. It's been delayed quite a lot. Like, it was supposed to come out ages ago. But they I think they kind of took the story back to the drawing board and rewrote everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing this thing. I think it's going to be great, and I do. If this is a real plot leak, I actually really like the sound of this. It sounds quite like, again, I think it's all going to be taking place on Tatooine, which I'm a bit like, oh, it's another series that's taking place on Tatooine. But I just want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi back, and hopefully this will be Ewan McGregor's chance to really get to really like. Just strut his stuff as Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I don't think he got that opportunity in the prequels, to be honest.
Well, it sounds like he gets to leave Tatooine during the show, so that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, it doesn't have to be all Tatooine and all sand. Sand, I hate sand. Yeah, it doesn't have to be all sand. You know what I mean?
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. You know, I'm very stoked about this thing. Very stoked. I'm ready.
Maybe.
And like, I was gonna say, if it takes forever to get this thing to us, I'll wait forever as long as it's done well. I'm glad they didn't rush it out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think the problems they had. I think my camera's gone all weird. There we go. The problems they had with the show was more story stuff, and I think they kind of got that all sorted. Because I think Deborah Chow had a crack at like doing the story herself at the beginning, and then they ended up getting someone else in to kind of punch it up a little bit.
Over the years, they've fooled me so many times, because there's a movie that that Ewan McGregor did where he plays Jesus roaming in the desert for like 40 days. It's a Bible kind of a story, and he's looks like a Jedi roaming around in robes. He looks like what a desert hermit looks like. And so there's people that have taken pictures that are stills from this and like turned it into like, yeah, this is the Obi-Wan show that they're working on. I'm like, dude, this looks awesome. And I go, oh no, that's not what that is. It's not what it is. I've been fooled
That's
many
where
times.
Edward. Yeah, that's where Edward got the picture for the article.
Oh, that's
No, it's not. That is him as Obi-Wan in the poster. I'm really looking forward to this show. Like, it's one of these shows that's like, it's kind of like, I don't think any Star Wars fan ever really thought they would do this. Like, I remember when they announced that he was going to be returning as Obi-Wan in the series at Star Wars Celebration. Was it Kathleen Kennedy brought him on stage, and he was like, yes, I'm going to be coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's great. You know, and everyone went, oh, that was very good. That was very, you know, my Scottish accent was terrible, but your Obi-Wan Kenobi was very good. I can do the one I can do is I can do again. I also want to know, how the hell did he age so much? so from becoming Ewan McGregor to ending up becoming Alec Guinness only like 19 years later. So
they should have done that with Tamora Morrison for Book of Boba Fett, right?
Maybe Tatooine just ages you really quickly.
Yeah. If 17 years in the desert you roam, not so good you will look.
Yes, yeah, 17 years in the desert. You would end up looking like me after 17 years.
Yeah, dude, he is just sun dried and weathered.
I should have worn more sunblock.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude.
The desert is very tough on my old skin.
You're fired.
I am actually 33 years old.
Anyway, enough about our balls.
You're just jealous, James. You see,
Yes.
I'm very good. I'm very good at the old Obi-Wan, and Clint is brilliant at the Ewan Obi-Wan.
You harp on people doing accents in movies all the time, man. But yeah, every show you try and do accents all the time. It's hilarious.
Yeah, 'cause
Hello there.
I can
good
do
at it.
accent. Scottish.
That Scottish, yeah, oh, that's close. Scottish is one that's I'm going to be honest. Scottish is one that I don't want to do because it's a very tough one, and I don't want to offend everyone in Scotland. They get very funny about it.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It is a tough one. Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for this show. It's a show that's it's coming out later this year. We don't have to wait very long for it.
May 25th.
May 25th. Yes, which apparently is an important date as far as Star Wars is concerned. Wasn't that the day that was it May 25th that A New Hope was released? Was that
exactly? A lot of people
Yeah.
are like, why didn't they release it on May 4th? Like, for May the 4th be with you. And like, well, not everybody has a lisp, and and also it's so many years, and I don't even know what the math is, but anniversary from the release of the first one. So why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, and it wasn't a meme back then.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What's on the docket next? Oh, here we
What
go.
is-
Star Trek Picard. Now, I'm going to let you two talk about this because I've only watched like 3 episodes of this show and episode in season 1, and Star Trek ain't my thing. So go ahead.
All right, I'm ready, Clint.
I only saw the first episode.
Yeah,
How many
same.
are out now? Are there 3 episodes
I
out?
think there's only the one. I think there's
Okay,
only one.
cool.
I'm not sure, but I watched the first episode today. You messaged me after you watched it. You said you found it strange, weird. So tell me.
It's weird. I wanted it to be a little better, and like I said, I hate to speak negatively. I'm starting to see Patrick Stewart's age, which is okay. He's playing an older guy, but it pains me to see him doing that. And I feel like he should be hanging out at his chateau, messing with wine, not going on adventures. You know what I mean? Like an elderly man going through space adventures. I feel like it's time to call someone else to go on that adventure. Of course, the alien species only wants to talk to Picard, so they got to get this old guy, and he's not in a hover round or anything. He still gets around pretty well, but when he talks, you're starting to see it. And it's not his fault. He's doing his thing. He's been around he's been on this planet for a while. So I'm certainly not as on point as I was 20 years ago. And so point is, we're starting to see it. How many more seasons of Picard are we going to get? I don't know, man.
Get at least one more.
One more because they shot them back to back.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see. I've been looking forward to seeing this. The writing so far, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm just waiting for it to kick in.
The dialogue, man. The dialogue is just it's okay.
You hit me, dude, and I'll agree, or all of a sudden I'll think of a talking point. I just kind of watched it and walked away from the first episode, and I was like, I don't know what to do with that. I guess maybe it's one of those things that's going to take an episode or two to set up what's happening. The last season I was able to defend and go along with it, and I was like, cool, we're getting all this nostalgia and this and that.
And Riker and Data.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that. I'm just kind of like, what the hell's happening? Okay, well, maybe it'll make sense next episode. So there we go. I pass the torch to you, James. What do you got for me?
The dialogue, the writing of the dialogue just does not seem like the characters. It seems to me like this series, especially season 2 now, just basing off the first episode, it's like they just took the actors and said, okay, have fun with the role. How do you want to interpret this character? I think it's just like the actors are playing themselves a little bit in the characters. Like I only got a glimpse of Captain Picard, and it was really weak. Is when his friend said, "See you later, Captain," and he's like, he stood up straight and he goes, "Dismissed," or whatever, or "Safe journey." That was him trying to go back to the old roots of Captain Picard. What I think happened is they like went from season 7, Next Generation. They're like, okay, well, Picard is getting more friendly and he's getting more comfortable with his crew. Remember that episode where like him and Beverly Crusher get trapped on a desert island and they're attached and they can't go too far from each other. And that was kind of like a warm up. Yes, Stanzig, that's Q. That's kind of like warm up Picard. And then like they did the Nemesis route where he became an action hero, and that didn't really work, you know. But it doesn't seem like it's the Captain Picard that we watched for 7 years. And I don't think even the first season was good. It was tolerable, like you said. We defend it because it was fun to watch, and it was good to see them all back, but the story is a bit convoluted. And I think the first episode, they opened with the action scene. They're like, okay, we gotta like bring in the audience to be like, oh, the major crap is going down. And it totally reminded me of First Contact, right? He even says the line from First Contact where he goes, this wasn't in the episode, but this was in the preview after the episode, like this season on Star Trek Picard. He goes, to save the future, we have to go back to the past, right? Yeah. And that's straight out of First Contact. And I think it's cool they are going back into the past to like the 21st century, like all Star Trek series have done. But they're going to Los Angeles because it's cheaper to shoot there. But I think just the acting, I like the only one in the first season that really, not even Riker, that really stuck to the core of the characters was Data, and he was in flashbacks, right? And the makeup wasn't that good and stuff, and he obviously gained weight, but he still tried to stay core to the character. Looks like John Delancey as Q is trying to stay to the character. I'm excited to have him back because it's one of my favorite episodes of The Next Generation is All Good Things Must Come to an End, right? That was the last episode of the series, and it absolutely brought it it was a good ending for the series. And yeah, Bakertown says, have they brought Whoopi Goldberg back yet? Yeah, she's in the first episode.
Yep. And
she seems to be playing half Guinan and half Whoopi Goldberg, you know. And you got 7 of 9 playing, like the actor playing half herself and half of 7 of 9. You got Patrick Stewart playing half himself and half of actually 80% himself and 20% Captain Picard, you know. That's the way I view it. And the writing, yeah, it's so convoluted. There's a lot of stuff in the episode that we didn't need. I remember I kept checking the time, like, oh, how much is this over? I want to have a nap before the live stream, you know, like can we get to the good parts? I like how they brought back the Borg, right? It's the Borg Queen. That's the big baddie that came in at the end. But at the same time, it just looks like they're doing First Contact. But I'm glad they brought in Q, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. I just hope they don't drop the ball on this. Because the writing seems very weak at the moment, and it could have been tightened up a lot of it. And these secondary characters, I still don't like the one actress that she was in the first season. She was in the desert, and he went and recruited her. And now she's got her own ship, and she got the dreads. Like I don't think she can act, and I'm sorry, but I don't know. It just seems, I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like. Like it could be they just missed the mark a little bit. It could be so much better. That's what I'm saying. I'm still gonna watch it, right? But I remember I watched all of season 1 and Spooky, and she would catch up with me, but we never watched the last 2 episodes because we both kind of lost interest, and I didn't want to watch them again.
Yeah. Which acts are you talking about? Is it the one that plays Rafaela? Raffi, yeah, Raffi. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michelle Hurd is her name.
Yeah. I've watched I watched I think 4 episodes of the first season, and I liked seeing Patrick Stewart back as Picard. I thought that was quite fun, but then it just it became a bit too. I don't know what it was. It just really didn't grab me. If it was a bit boring, I'm going to be honest. I think the last episode I watched was the one where they all get in fancy dress and kind of do some
and he does the Frenchman impression.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, this is really not for me. And I
gave it a pass though, because I'm like, okay, you know what? They want to have a fun episode. That's fine. They want to do their own Moss Isley pub or whatever, and then go in there, that kind of thing. And that's, I think they're trying to expand the universe in the wrong way. I mean, I don't want complete fan service, but the core of Star Trek is to give hope in humanity at its best. And I think now, like, I remember when I pressed play on the first episode, I was like, okay, with everything going on in the world, I want to see some of that hope and that enlightenment and setting an example, right? But I mean, we haven't gotten anything bad yet. I laughed though. Clint, I don't know if you caught this, but I did laugh that when he was giving his speech at the Starfleet Academy, and they showed the people in the back row, and they're all sitting 6 feet apart, right? And that maybe they were going to CGI some people in there or whatever, but like the CGI people at the front, they were all stacked together because they had COVID problems on set, right? Sorry, Edward, I didn't mean to keep going.
No, that's fine.
That's I didn't notice that, but that is pretty hilarious. I did give, like, the first season was all about nostalgia and fan service. So it was every episode they'd bring in an old character. Hey, look what so and so's up to, and then and they'd have their little situation that they'd have, and it was fun. Like, it was fun to see. Hey, there's Riker, and like, hey, there's Data. Hey, there's the, and that's all it was. It was a bunch of fan service, which I've said in the past. But fan service is not a bad word to me. Fan service is a good word to me. I'm all about that. And nostalgia is fun. And also, I was able to defend Patrick or Picard in last season too, where people are like, "It's just not Picard." I'm like, dude, it's Picard after a big dramatic war with post-traumatic stress disorder, and then way in the future as in an advanced age.
Yeah, they set the context very well. I agree.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, he is different because he is different. He's at a completely different. Where were you 20 years ago, and how are you different? I was completely different 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and maybe even 5 years ago. A lot different than I am right now. So it's like I can rationalize that and make concessions for the difference in the character and the way he is behaving now as opposed. And I thought it was interesting in this new.
Before you go on to the next point, but don't you think that like the contrast of his warm lightheartedness kind of humor is kind of out of character if he went through all those events?
I think that everyone grows old in a different way, and he's back at his chateau with his people, and instead of fighting forces and doing things, like, you see the guy when he's serious, but
not in the show though. No, but that's not in the show. Like, he's more. I'm saying,
like, what I'm trying to say though is when military take their uniform off, they don't necessarily act like military anymore.
No, but even on a mission though, he's acting like the warm, lighthearted Picard. Like, you saw him come on the bridge in the first episode, and he's like, "Oh, good to see you. Oh, I love everyone." And then he turns and he goes, "Oh, okay, what's status report?" And it doesn't even seem like, I think what they're doing is they're taking Picard as a character from the movies, not the show. And I know that's the natural evolution, but there is no, maybe we'll get to see this now that Q has been brought into it, and he realized he's back on trial. Maybe that'll kick him back into command gear, right? But it just seems like it's now, maybe that's why it's called Picard and not Captain Picard, right? Or Admiral Picard, because it's just about the character. But there's no, I think, like, if he went through those traumatic events in the first season, and like you said, and it's warranted, and they did the
before the first season
well.
he went.
Yeah, but he's just, when he's in command, he's playing the same characters or the same guys that's at the vineyard,
because that's who he is now. He's not a captain of a Starfleet ship anymore. He hasn't been for 20 years.
No, but
now
he's the head of Starfleet
he's a civilian.
now.
Yeah, but now he doesn't even do that anymore. And he's just
in this season he is. Yeah,
he's
like, I think I'll change. I'll alter the Kobayashi Maru test or whatever.
I thought he was just going back to give like an honorary guest speech or something.
He's like super high up. He like runs Starfleet Academy now.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
like, want to see a bit more command. I'm sorry, but
I don't think. I think he's an old man, and old men they tend to see what's important as they get older, and sometimes kindness is, and I think that's just where he is. He's getting soft in his old age, as they say.
Yeah,
and
but so many years on command and being a captain and like, so many years, you think he'd be able to snap back into the command thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but he wasn't ever a bastard asshole kind of a guy. He was always he had a kind heart, but he was also got stuff done.
The
And I
first
think
season. Shut up, Wesley. No kids on the bridge. What is he doing here?
Yeah, that was 40 years ago.
That's one thing, but like the
He's
majority
mellowed
of
a
life
bit over the years.
He's mellowed, dude. He's old.
I know.
We can't
but
be
the
assholes
majority-
forever. We gotta mellow in our old
All I
age.
want to do is
Yeah.
lick my wine.
You know what?
I've mellowed a
What?
lot in like the last 10 years, but I gotta say, like, if like when I go to director film or whatever, it, like snaps right back where I'm like, I'm
You're
in
still a
director mode.
whippersnapper, dude. You're not an 82-year-old man. When
But like I'd still go into that director mode at 80 years old, and
Do
I
you
think
think
should
you
go
know
into. I'm
what-
waiting for that. It's the Unforgiven moment, you know, where it's like,
Mm.
okay, give me the whiskey and give me the gun, and you know, and then you see the close up of Clint Eastwood, or in this case, Patrick Stewart. It's like I want to see him back in command. You know,
you're not. He's an old, defeated old man who
I
is.
don't
who is,
want Dune Buggy riding Picard.
That's what
That's
we're
it.
getting.
I
He's
don't
an
want-
old. He's an old defeated man who sacrificed all of the romance in his entire life for Starfleet, and now he's even getting opportunities for romance, and he's still looking for the bat signal instead of like moving on that and actually living his life. He's a completely traumatized old guy that's where he's at. He's an old defeated man, and that's what's weird at watching this guy. He's not as fierce and strong and on point as he used to be. Now he's an old broken old guy. That's what he is.
If he went through that, then he would have some defense mechanisms and that would snap him back into command mode. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're missing a part of his core character. You can't just dismiss it because he went through a bunch of stuff, because like, holy crap, like he was abducted by the Borg and he still ran a command after that, and he still snapped back into command mode when needed, you know.
And then Mars blew up, and he's never been the same since. That's what we're left with. A guy
He lost so many planets. Like I can just like the Chrysalis. Entity,
we're seeing an old guy that's
Crystalline.
sitting here looking at his mortality, wondering if it was worth it. Was it worth it?
He's always been okay with his mortality. That's the thing, and he's always, yeah. I don't
now. Now he's old AF, and he's on the last lap, and he's still old and single, and he's got love interest. Did you see them gazing into each other's eyes? He didn't know what the hell to do.
That was so forced. That was forced. That was like
this.
Oh man, I felt embarrassed watching that.
It was hard to watch. There was some potential romance happening, and he was like, he looked like a guy had never been on a date before. It was kind of weird.
And I love the exposition. Like, okay, we'll catch the audience up to speed. You know, it's like, oh, where's the other guy? I miss him too. Well, that came out of left field. Or like the synthetic person gives a whole speech about why they're there, because you know we don't know. We need to know. You know, they're telling us, not showing us. But
dude, he's gotten old and soft like Boba Fett, dude. It's what happens in space. Time passes, you get old and soft. That's what
we're not going to see him fight a Wookiee naked, though. That's for sure.
You never know.
Don't change.
He's going to be mud wrestling with the Ferengi by the end of the season.
Do you think all of this might be an Alex Kurtzman problem?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, without a doubt.
Hmm.
We need some writers back from Next Generation for sure. I mean, I hate to say it, but we need some Rick Berman and some Brandon Braga input. You know,
They're trying to take an IP that they own and trying to just milk it instead of like breaking new horizons and boundaries and doing take the principles of Star Trek and create some new stuff. They're not doing that. They're just trying to milk.
They didn't even do that with Discovery from when I watched the first season. Yeah,
no, they didn't. It's
not Star Wars. It's Star Trek.
Yeah,
it's a whole different beast.
Yep.
I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that he's been involved with, Alex Kurtzman, and a lot of it is crap. Like he starts off with The Island.
Oh, The Island. Michael Bay,
The Island movie. He wasn't his television. Yes, he was never part. Was he part of Lost? No, he wasn't. He was never part of that. He was part of
No.
Alias.
Yeah, his partner, I forget.
Yeah,
Porky, maybe.
Yeah, Roberto Orci. But like, I'm looking at this. There's like, he's got Transformers in there. Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Cowboys and Aliens. Oh my god. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the new Mummy, which he directed, and then his TV. I mean, I liked Fringe, but a lot of it is like Hawaii 5-0. He did some stuff on Xena Warrior Princess apparently, which people like.
So Edward, imagine if they gave him a Bond movie. How would you feel?
Yeah, I'd be like, who is this guy?
Exactly. Yep. My point.
Yeah, it's weird, but he's literally been given the keys to like everything Star Trek. He was like Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, literally, he's doing another series called Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, which I'm pretty sure people are not going to like. It's weird. It's kind of strange. Nothing he's ever been part of has really done that well, apart from maybe Fringe.
CBS and Paramount do not know what to do with Star Trek as a franchise. On the 50th anniversary, they totally bombed what could have been a really good moment for the franchise, for a celebration, and they totally screwed it up.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. So, and I think Patrick Stewart is doing the best he can. John Delancey's coming back. He's doing the best he can. But it's just, I don't know, man.
Patrick Stewart probably doesn't know what set he's on at the moment. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, to be nice.
No, he's very smart. He's like got a very keen brain.
No, but I'm saying, dude doesn't remember whether he did anything for Doctor Strange 2 or not.
Yes, he does.
Don't be nice.
Was that me in the trailer? Oh, I can't remember.
Hey, come on now.
I will die on this.
Come on now. Be nice. He's not. Never mind. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make any president jokes. Let's move forward.
I was just trying to move us along to the next topic. That's why I was being mean.
Yeah, segue.
Right. Don't be mean.
Here we go. He's back.
Woo!
Apparently he's returning. So we heard his voice in the trailer for Doctor Strange 2. And then he came out with the rather incredible denial that it could be someone imitating his voice.
I'm sorry. Clint, that was a really good discussion. Thank you for listening to me rant. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, that was a good discussion.
I was looking forward to that since you told me to watch Picard season 1.
Yeah.
It's actually the first episode.
It always, like, me, I like everything. So when I walk away with something and I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this, it is a little bit disheveling for me. I'm like, I like the people involved, but I don't know what to think, and I don't dislike it. I just didn't like it. I don't know what the hell's going on. So we'll see, man. You and I are both just gonna have to cross our fingers and hope for the next couple of episodes. See
3
how it
episode
develops.
Rule. After 3 episodes, if it doesn't pick up some water, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll keep watching. I'll keep watching and defending them.
I appreciate the talk. Sorry, Edward.
Yeah, man, that was a good one.
No, that's good. But it's funny that it's Clint's like you're questioning everything you stand for. You're like,
yeah,
I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it. What does that mean? It means you didn't like it. It means you disliked it.
Dude. Even the last Star Trek Discovery episodes, I realized I hadn't watched the last 3 before the new season came out. And instead of watching them, I just went back and read the thing. I was like, it's good enough. And I just started the next season. It wasn't worth the 3 hours before, so you can't win them all, man. We just watch these shows because we love them and we want them to be good. And if they're just okay, sometimes you just got to say, okay.
Exactly. And if they're not, then you got to facepalm.
Just like Jason Bateman is just like, okay. That's what he does. When something that's unfortunate happens, he says, okay, how are we going to do this now? All right. So let's talk about some Patrick Stewart. People have been imitating me for 40
for
years.
People have been imitating my voice for many years. Apparently, he then said, "Oh no, I remember. I am in that movie." So he obviously talked to some PR people, and they were like, "No, it's fine. You can say that you're in this film. your voice is in the trailer, so the cat's out of the bag on that one." We're now getting reports that he's going to be returning as Charles Xavier in the MCU after Doctor Strange 2. Now, again, that does come from a relatively iffy source, but I wanted to talk more about what you think. Like, first off,
nice
what do
picture
you
you chose there, Edward.
Jesus, I was just
Yeah.
looking at that, dude. Is that from is that
most
from World
serious
War Z? Like, is that that is
that's him and Logan.
Yeah.
is he going to be in the new Zack Snyder film?
Logan.
Like, jeez,
He does-
holy
in-
smokes, man!
in that film, he does this. He says Logan in a really funny way. In Logan, he goes, "Logan." He's dying. So it's like, can't remember, and he can like literally destroy the whole world because he's losing it. He's got that is such a good. It's such a good movie.
It is.
Yeah,
Like,
they
of all
did a
the
good job.
pictures you could have picked, man.
They
Of all the
did a good
pictures
job
out
of
there,
making making him look 90 years old in this this movie.
I like
Man.
that picture. I think it's very flattering.
I'm gonna change it right now.
No, you're not. Leave it. You're not touching it. Don't you dare touch it. It's I wanted to know what you guys thought. First off, what is Sir Patrick Stewart going to be doing in Doctor Strange 2? Theories, and how do you think his character could come back in the MCU after Doctor Strange 2?
He's gonna be sitting in a wheelchair in the Illuminati, and he's gonna be going, "To save the past, or to save the future, we must go into the past."
Number one, make it so. Engage. Yeah. He's gonna be Professor X.
Script.
Yeah. We got to tell him this. We got to tell Strange the truth, and they're gonna tell Strange the truth, and yeah. I guess they're in some weird realm in like.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, and then he's gonna start calling Doctor Strange Q.
He's gonna get his scripts all mixed up. No, I'm being mean, but no, I don't know much about the Illuminati. I'm going to be honest. Like, that's something that I don't really know much about. I do know that Professor X is a member of it, so I'm pretty sure this won't be the same version of Professor X that we've seen him play in the past. And that was more like where my question was going. Is like, do you think we're going to see him play that same Professor X that he did in the X-Men movies?
I mean, it's going to be a version, probably a variant. There's probably a lot of Professor X's, but there's some of the smartest of a whole bunch of different characters are going to be part of the Illuminati, and they're probably going to be in some realm, like in Ant-Man. What do they call the little nano universe?
What is that called?
I can't think of it right now, but it's basically that area. You remember how Ant-Man went in and was
Quantum
unaffected.
realm.
Quantum realm, thank you. It was unaffected by the snap. They probably have their Illuminati layer there, where they're unaffected by a lot of things, and they get to make decisions and do the right thing for the universe. And they're gonna basically, they know, like there's a lot of theories that floating around that mutants were around before, and that the whole famous no more mutants thing happened in the past, and so we don't know about it, so that the mutants are already have been around the whole time, but Wanda made them disappear, and so now we're going, and I was like, that's a really good theory, like that because there was people saying maybe they're going to kind of go off of that and be like, and have Wanda say, "I want mutants," and they show up, and I'm like, that's just kind of weird. They would twist it, but if she said no more mutants in the past, then that makes a lot more sense. So that's a big theory going around. Who knows exactly what's going on, but there's a whole bunch of universes and dimensions that are all starting to crash together. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited about it. Gosh, maybe it's going to be like the Mandela effect, where people have different memories of the way things went down. I don't know. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
It would.
And maybe if that's the case, then he would have to say, "We have to go into the past to save the future."
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah,
And there's also, if you get the Illuminati, maybe there's going to be some World War Hulk action happening later, because they're the ones that banished Hulk, which is exciting. And that could be why they've got him. You say he's supposed to do more Illuminati stuff. That might be why.
To be fair, he did say that in Age of Apocalypse. Well, he didn't say that, but they had to go back to the past to save the future.
Oh wait, no, that was in Days of Future
Days of
Past.
Future Past, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I like that film.
There's
liked that film quite a lot.
There's a lot of debate of who's going to be on part of the Illuminati.
Yes, yeah.
Me and maybe they poop mustard in that universe. Bakertown saying some crazy stuff in the comments there. But yeah,
I've just ignored him now.
Yeah, because Quantum Realm is probably where they exist. He and I, Curtis and I, have had many talks about this, and who knows what's going to happen. That's what's so exciting about this movie, is that there's endless possibilities. There's a million theories, and you have room for, since we're dealing with variants and multiple universes and everything else, timelines and whatnot, anything can happen. And so people have been talking about Tom Cruise Iron Mans and all kinds of things. There's been talk of Shuri, is that Black Panther's sister?
Yeah,
that she might be part of the Illuminati. She's supposed to be the smartest person in the MCU. They said at one point. I think Kevin Feige said at one point. I guess now that Iron Man's gone,
Bruce Banner might have a thing to say about that, but yeah,
but she's supposedly smarter than he is. I don't know.
She probably is.
He's as good as he probably is with math. He doesn't seem very smart. Bruce Banner, like Mark
Banner's
Ruffalo's,
a bit of a sidekick.
He's kind of like a
guy.
yeah.
Mark Ruffalo plays with that.
I think it's like the opposite of I'm giving myself a compliment of me. I am terrible with math, but I'm a good talker, and I'm usually pretty good in conversation and can hold my own. Just bumbling around through the world, but he seems like the opposite. Like he's just like, huh, what? Like you might want him to do your taxes, but you don't want him to go argue for you in court. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm a bit worried actually about his Bruce Banner, because I don't know if you've seen, but he was talking about She-Hulk, the series which Mark Ruffalo will be in. And he kind of, it sounded to me a bit like he was teasing that Bruce Banner, he might be done with the MCU after this series. He said, "I'm passing the banner onto her," as in She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany. So I was a bit like, oof, does this mean that he might not be around in the MCU for much longer? I'd be upset about that, to be honest, because I really I like him.
He needs his own film first.
Yeah, well, all that kind of Universal
to go after get Marvel to give him a bunch of money and then give him the right.
Do it like they did with Sony. Like, you make the money on the movie, we make the money on the merchandise.
Exactly.
Yeah, and everyone's a winner.
But I think that's why we're seeing him more in these shows. I think a while ago he also teased that he might be in Moon Knight, and we saw his Bruce Banner in Shang-Chi, didn't we? He turns up in the post-credit scene in there, and he's like trying to find out the energy source or whatever behind the 10 rings.
Well, they gave us a Hulk movie peppered through all these other movies, right? That's they got around it.
Yeah. It's a shame, because I think he did deserve a solo movie. He's kind of often been sidelined a bit, or made like he's like the sidekick in was it Thor Ragnarok and stuff like that. But he's brilliant, and he's really made that role his own. And I really hope that we're not seeing the end of him as the Hulk. Maybe Marvel might be looking at a way to get around the whole licensing thing by just bringing in She-Hulk, and then maybe they can do whatever they want with She-Hulk. So they're just thinking, you know what, we're just going to get around that problem by saying, well, Bruce Banner's gone off somewhere now, and She-Hulk's now the MCU's Hulk.
She-Hulk's supposed to be kind of like they break the fourth wall a lot. They talk and constantly talk like Deadpool talking to the audience, and they get nuts with that, and that's how it was in the comics. So that's going to be a weird thing. It's kind of like when you talk about how to have this serious multiverse of madness, and then all of a sudden you're going to have Deadpool in it. I don't know. It'd be kind of weird. It kind of pull you out of the movie if all of a sudden you're watching all this weird stuff, and then Deadpool's like, well, guys, blah 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 blah, and you're like, that's I was just watching some dramatic stuff about Wanda's children, and she's about to start crying, and then Deadpool looked at the camera and then started talking. Now it doesn't work. Like, you know what I mean? It seems kind of weird. Maybe they'll go there anyway, but I feel like we're going to get She-Hulk. It's going to be kind of a comedy, quirky comedy, fun thing. And I don't know how well it would fit in or replace regular Hulk. I also would love to see regular Hulk dealing with loss of his family and getting angry and destruction and vengeance and coming back and you know what I mean? Like, that's the story of Hulk.
So Hulk beating some people and what are you? I'm vengeance.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to see that. Like, and
The Hulk. That's the movie. The Hulk. Yeah. There you go. Directed by Matt Reeves.
Yeah, the more he gets hit and hurt, the stronger he gets. Like, let's have him get pissed off and make Patrick Stewart wheel himself over to meet with the other guys and have to do something about this. Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, they have to go back to the past to save the future.
That's right.
That's the theme of this. That's the theme of this live stream. We have to go back to the past to save the future.
Yeah, Bakertown says She-Hulk is very funny, but a total badass as well. She's one of my favorite characters. So I'm excited. Tatiana Maslany is a tremendous actress. Like, she's
name.
Yeah, she's lovely. I love her. Like, she's fantastic. Like, she's like not just a beautiful, not like traditional beauty either. She's really lovely though, and she's a fantastic actress. We've talked about it before, but like she's playing like 5 different characters at the same time, all with different accents, and it's just amazing.
In Orphan Black,
yeah, she's really impressive. Like, her acting chops is very good.
Yeah. I heard that the She-Hulk series is going to be a bit more like a procedural drama almost, like because one of the she is a lawyer in the comics, and I think we're going to get to see that part of her character as well, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, like a comedy lawyer procedural.
Yeah.
So one of the producers, Marvel producers, said Ally McBeal as a reference.
Yes.
Yeah. Or Boston Legal, that kind of stuff.
Do you reckon they'll end each episode with do and then have the Law and Order thing?
They're gonna have She-Hulk and Bruce Banner sitting on this patio overlooking the city, having cigars and drinking brandy.
What was the guy's name? Wolf.
That was William Shatner and James
Scott
Spader.
Wolf.
Dick Wolf, isn't it?
Oh, you're talking about Law and Order?
Dick Wolf.
Yeah, Law and Order is do. That's what Law and Yeah. I think they'll do something. I bet you they'll do something like that as well.
These are their stories.
Yeah. And then
when you're a spy. Like Bird
God,
Notice.
I need to start watching that again. I stopped watching it for a while, but now I really want to watch it again because, of course, what's his Bruce Campbell's been teasing his return in well, not even return, his involvement in Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah,
what he said was hilarious as well, because he's like, I may or may not have done some stuff for Doctor Strange 2, but I can't tell you. He's just so funny about it, and he's like, he goes on a whole rant about how Marvel's making 700 movies and none of them make sense.
He did say he was back, and he was glad to be playing this favorite role of Marvel. He said something. He had made a statement and admitted that he was in it.
He's like, I don't know if it's gonna make the movie or it'll be on the cutting room floor, but
yeah,
I get to share a scene with a very memorable character or something like that.
Yeah, it was funny because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, no, I don't either I can't talk about that, or no, I had nothing to do with anything, you know, or we'll have to wait and see. He's like, yeah, I'm in the movie, you know, I played a familiar character, and I don't know if it makes it in the movie, but I'm in it. Like he just straight up like, whatever, I'm Bruce Campbell, bitches.
He definitely filmed some stuff because he was sharing that on Instagram as well, though, where he was in London filming on Doctor Strange 2. And you can't really have a Sam Raimi comic book movie or a Sam Raimi movie without it featuring Bruce Campbell in some way. Those two go way back, all the way back to school. So like you kind of have
the real question is, who's Ivan Raimi playing? Because he's in like almost every Sam Raimi movie too.
Is that his brother?
Look charms, yeah.
He
was in the Spider-Man movies.
Who does he play in the Spider-Man films?
He was one of the people in J. Jonah's in the Daily Bugle.
Okay, so he probably they probably will. I mean, everyone's saying that Bruce Campbell is playing Mephisto, which
you can't have Mephisto.
It's not.
He would be great. He would be great though as Mephisto. That would be such good casting.
They won't straight up like identify him as Mephisto.
No,
they'd be like, yeah, I'm the guy that you don't want to mess with when blah blah blah, you know, or something. Yeah, and have him
Mephisto.
Yeah, be wearing a black suit, you know, maybe with a red shirt or something, and be like, yeah. And he's basically going to be playing one of the characters, the fake characters from Burn Notice. When he goes in and do a scam, he'll be like, I'm blah blah blah. But
what's the name he always uses?
I can't think of it. I was trying to remember
the name. Oh, yeah. I need to remember that now, because
what they need to do is like has some Halloween costume party or something, and someone's dressed up as Mephisto. And then like he like gets murdered by like some accident, some like collateral damage, and then like, who is that guy? Oh, he kept calling himself Mephisto, but never heard of that guy, and then that's it. And then they'd be like, okay, there's Mephisto, you've seen him, now everyone stop talking about him. I would love that.
They did that in one of the I think it was WandaVision, during one of like the town square fair or something, when they had like the you remember that they had a balloon that was like a balloon of Mephisto or something, and everybody was like, there he is. Everybody freaked out.
It was the rabbit. It was the rabbit.
Yeah, they're like, and the rabbit was supposed to be Agatha Harkness's son.
Do you remember when everyone thought it was Mephisto though?
Yeah.
By the way, it's Chuck Finley.
That's Chuck Finley. I was just going to say that. Yeah, I looked it up while I was in here. I was like, yeah, Chuck Finley. Come on.
Chuck Finley. So when he spruces up a bit, it becomes Charles Finley. I'd love it if he turned up and said, my name's Charles Finley or Chuck Finley.
They're like, are you? And he's like, yes, I am Chuck Finley.
Yes. And then he's actually Mephisto. Oh, he has to be playing Mephisto. You know what? You know, at this point, I'm going to say it. Screw China, because these films. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Demons in China. That's the rule.
Spider-Man No Way Home didn't even come out in China, so I know that Doctor Strange 2 probably will do, but who's to say they know like really what Mephisto really is? I think that's a good way to get around it.
They have people that monitor all of the content, and they're like, they'll know. I mean, now if you have him in a suit where it's like Lucifer, where it's like, yes, that's the devil, but he's like hello, I'm Lucifer, you know, then that's one thing. But if he's gonna look like Mephisto, they're not gonna have him in there.
No, but if he plays the character, he'll play it in a suit or something, and like, you know, yeah. I mean, I'd love. I just, at this point, everyone's always saying that they want some Mephisto in it, and I've been kind of a bit, you know, joking about it. But now I'm kind of like at the point where they need to bring that character in, because he is very important in the comics.
Just at least give some kind of nod, you know.
Make it John Malkovich, like Constantine.
Yeah. What? No, who was it in Constantine?
John Malkovich.
No, it wasn't John Malkovich that played the devil. It was the other guy.
The guy I always get confused with John Malkovich.
Yeah, no, it's can't remember his name
Oh,
now.
he was great in Armageddon too.
Yeah, well, the actor.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. That's
looking
gonna
him up.
annoy me. Yeah,
Dude,
But
they're
he-
very they're I didn't mean to interrupt you, man, but they're
No, go.
really strict in China. Like I have friends
yes,
in bands where they had an approved set list and they were used to playing songs back to back. I don't know if I've told you the story or not.
no, you didn't.
And they were I could tell you the band's called Bowling for Soup. They're my good friends, and they told me they're like, they accidentally, they were so used to going into the next song, they went into the next song and it wasn't the song on the set list, and they played it, and then after they got off, they got pulled into a room and they're like,
Really?
you played a song that was not on the approved set list, and they took the tour manager into the other room and went over the lyrics. And then said, okay, that wasn't any kind of like propaganda unapproved message in your song. We're going to let you have a pass on this. But if if they had some kind of like, we're fighting for freedom or something in the lyrics, or any kind of thing that they believed encouraged any kind of behavior or anything, they could have gotten some serious trouble. And which is just insane that we're so used to living our lives, doing our things in our countries, but it's insane to think that you could just for playing a song that's not on an approved list. So that's when I hear these things about like Mephisto, and I'm like, no, I know how hardcore they are, and and they're not going to just give them a pass. They're going to have either have a special cut for that country that doesn't have that character in it, or they're just not going to put it in the movie.
I wonder if Marvel Contest of Champions video game is in China, because he's all over that game.
Mephisto is.
Yeah, that's where I get all the footage for the videos when we're talking about Mephisto. But yes, Peter Stormare.
Yeah, there you go. He's a great character actor.
He's amazing. I like him a lot. I always forget his name.
And now I've got she's the girl all the bad guys want in my head.
Yeah.
Talks about Bowling for Soup. I saw them live actually. They were Avril Lavigne's backup band.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was an interesting show. I just got tickets on the I was actually offered tickets on the day. Someone was like, "Do you want to come and see Avril Lavigne in Paris?" I was like, "All right." And then Bowling for Soup was the backup band, and I was much more excited for Bowling for Soup than Avril Lavigne. I was like, "They're great.
They're fantastic. They're great guys too. I spent a good 6 months on the road with those guys. They're great guys. Ooh. We almost went to the UK with them, and we ended up, my band ended up breaking up before it happened. But we did the first leg in the US, and the second leg was supposed to be it over there. Would have been fun.
One of my clients lived next door to Avril Lavigne. You'd always hear her playing guitar late at night practicing.
Is it really her though? Is it really Avril Lavigne?
It's Toronto.
Yeah. But is it really her though? Because everyone says Avril Lavigne is not actually Avril Lavigne.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like a Paul McCartney situation.
Oh, that's right. I heard. Yeah,
she died like years ago, and
Well, they're saying the same thing about like, isn't like, someone is actually Amy Winehouse or something? Spooky told me about that a couple weeks ago.
What?
Yeah, Spooky. Who was it that they're saying is actually Amy Winehouse? It's not Taylor.
Avril Lavigne was actually Amy Winehouse, and then when she, then when the original Amy, like Avril passed, so did she, and then they got a new Avril Lavigne, but they didn't get a new Amy Winehouse.
That's what happens when you go to the past to fix the future.
Yeah, the new Avril Lavigne couldn't pull off the Amy Winehouse. She just didn't have the chops. So
yeah, I've listened to Avril Lavigne live and listened to many live recordings of Amy Winehouse. They're not the same person. I can tell you that. It's a very different abilities singing wise. Oh man, Amy Winehouse was amazing. Shit. Oh well. But no, as far bring it back to the MCU and Mephisto.
We're talking about Marvel stuff.
That is something that I just want to see Bruce Campbell and everything. I'm going to watch Evil Dead 2 again pretty soon, and then follow that up with Army of Darkness, 2 of my favorite films of all time.
If there's any person that you would want to see in a black suit with that looks and his eyes glow red or something all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, that's. I mean, who else besides Bruce Campbell would you want
Black
to see?
suit, red tie. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. And all of a sudden his eyes light up for a second, and you're like, that's Mephisto. That's who you want is Bruce Campbell. That's exactly who you want to do that.
That's Mephisto.
Mephisto. He's either going to do that or play a variant of what's it?
Finley.
Finley of Mysterio. That's the other thing I've seen. Speaking about it, people say that Amy Winehouse faked her death and made herself into Lady Gaga.
That's pretty insane, right?
I knew it.
That's bonkers. Who are these people? Are they also QAnon believers?
I wasn't gonna go there, but I was thinking it.
Yeah, people are nuts.
They're bonkers.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah, literally. Oh well, there's a segue if I've ever heard one. Should we start talking about the Batman?
Yeah, just give me a thumbs up when you're done.
But no, what I want to start talking about. Okay. We'll just
before we get into that, wasn't there a thing about? Were we going to talk about Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's going on with that?
I don't know.
I'm so tired. I can't remember what's happening.
We can. The PG-13 thing, Edward.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bring that up. Yeah. So he said Charlie Cox has been doing a lot of talking. Yeah, a lot of talking. And he said that he's basically not too sure that Daredevil would work for would suit a PG-13 rating, but he also kind of said that he would like to do it with Marvel. Like he said, I wouldn't put it past the folks at Marvel to be able to accomplish that when they started talking about Daredevil being PG-13. I'm such a fan of everything they've done so far. I wouldn't underestimate them at all. So if they wanted to make a more PG version of Daredevil, I back them to find a way to do it if it feels totally in keeping with everything we've done. And maybe there's a little less blood, maybe there's a little whatever, but I back them to do it. So it absolutely can work, but I guess what you can't deny is Daredevil is never going to work as well in a PG world as Spider-Man does. He said that's the point. I think that's the age of the character, the Christian guilt, his history with women and stuff like that. It's a little bit more mature, and it has to be. What do you make of this
news? Are you looking forward to seeing more of Charlie Cox's return as Daredevil in the MCU? Let us know in the comments below.
Thank you for mocking my work.
What I make of this,
it's with love.
What I make of this is that Disney just released that they're going to be adding new parental controls to Disney Plus. So now we're going to be able to see more mature things. And in the past, when we were dealing with Bob Iger, he was a little more wholesome and old school. But I think now, they're talking about doing things like having a cheaper version with ads on Disney Plus, just so that they can get more subscribers. They're scrambling to do whatever they can to get more subscribers. So now they're adding parental controls so they can have more risque entertainment on the channel. So I think the old Disney that we're used to is still going to be there, but they've either had the option of putting things on Hulu or putting on Disney Plus.
Well,
I think
that
things
Americans are used to.
Yes,
we've had Star for a year now. Like I think we were like their beta soft launch, see how it went.
Yeah. Initially, it was unclear where these Marvel live action shows would go when Netflix rights expired, especially because blah, 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 more mature content. And basically, the article that I read that's talking about this stuff was saying that Disney Plus in Canada, starting in mid-March, is doing this first. And then, but they don't know if it's, they're not sure if it's going to happen in the rest of the United States and other places. So I'm excited to see risque entertainment on Disney Plus. Throw on some parental, because I'm the one with the codes. I'm not a kid. I want to see this stuff. Give it to me now. I think them releasing this was kind of a press release they did earlier this week. That to me was like, hey gang, it's okay. We can have some more intense stuff. And I think we're going to start to see that. I think the old, more conservative thing that we're used to and that we assume with Disney is starting to fade away a little bit. I don't know.
There's also an option where you don't have to have parental controls on either. Like you don't even have to put a code in. It just asks you, it switches, like, hey, do you want to put a code in for parental lock? And you go no, and then you never have to worry about it again. It's all mixed in together.
The whole parental thing is just to shut parents up, just giving them the option to keep the blood and gore off of their kids' TVs. As long as you gave them an option, we're like, hey, we're going to show this stuff. You want to have it on or not? Like we're giving you a way out. Now you don't have to have that, and they can watch 101 Dalmatians, and it's fine.
It's funny because like we've had Disney Plus Star in Europe now for such a long time, and I don't have like any restrictions on my account because I don't have any kids, and everyone I know that has access to my account is an adult, and I've actually watched some of the most like the best horror movies, weirdly enough, on Disney Plus Star. So stuff like Event Horizon's on there, the Alien movies are on there, the Predator movies are on there, and I just don't understand why they can't do the same thing in the US. What the problem is in the US with all this?
It's because they bought Hulu, and then they had a controlling interest in Hulu, and they weren't sure if they wanted it to die or to roll into Disney Plus. But now that's what they're going to do, is they're going to probably roll it into Disney Plus or make it its own beast and revamp what Hulu actually is. That was the whole thing. Otherwise, like if there was no Hulu, then they probably would have done these parental controls earlier, like they did in Canada and the UK.
Yeah, so Disney Plus here is just, you have Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, Pixar. They just have categories for all that, and then and they have all, and that's it. And they don't have other.
Where did the shows like Hit Monkey go and stuff like that on
Hulu?
Is that all on Hulu?
Yeah, all the adult content goes on Hulu in the States.
It's so weird. So basically, in the States, you have to pay for a Hulu subscription and a Disney Plus subscription to be able to watch this stuff. Yeah. That's terrible.
That's what happens when they bought it, right? And then they decided to roll out Disney Plus after they bought Hulu.
And it is like
where all the problem comes from.
Is Dope Sick on Hulu as well? That like those kind of shows. And what's the other one? The Pamela Anderson show, was it?
Nope. Tommy.
That's Hulu.
Tommy.
That's
and
all
Pat.
Hulu.
That's all Hulu. So for instance, in Europe, that's literally all on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and same in Canada here. Yeah.
Nope, it's all Hulu. It's pretty minimal. It's just like a few IPs that are all listed up there. And granted, you're like, yeah, it's worth $12 because you get every Marvel thing, every Star Wars thing, and so like it's all, for me, it's all of my favorite things on one channel, and then I go everywhere else for all the scragglers.
That's crazy. Like I'm really looking at like the value in outside of the US for Disney Plus is there. It doesn't seem like it is in the US.
But they're raising their price too, right? So they're getting prepared.
Well, they're raising it. Yeah, they've been raising it every year. When I first bought a yearly, I always buy yearly subscriptions to Disney Plus because I mean, all of the Alien movies are on there. I watch those every year, like even the bad ones. I'm obsessed with that franchise, and like. For now that all the 20th Century Fox movies are on there as well, it's a no-brainer.
It's worth it, yeah.
Yeah. The Fly's on there as well. Yeah, sorry.
No,
John,
we got some good comments here. Zodiac says, my daughter was 15 when Iron Man came out. She's going on 30. They need a mature section. Like, yeah, and again, that applies to the States, right?
Yeah.
And Spooky said, yeah, so we have Crave in Canada, but we don't have HBO Max. But unfortunately, Crave doesn't have everything that HBO Max offers. Like Matrix wasn't streaming on day one. Had to wait a couple weeks for that, right? And you have to pay an extra $10 to get the HBO Max movies. Yeah.
That sounds a lot like in the UK with Sky Atlantic. A lot of the HBO stuff comes onto Sky Atlantic. You have to pay for it.
Yeah, this is what it looks like here. All right, sure.
Okay, let's have a look.
Am I centered in there? Can't tell.
Not really, no.
You can just share your screen through StreamYard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I was doing it through I have 2 screens, so I don't know which ones.
Yeah, I'm just looking through. Like, I need to go on to like Disney Plus a bit more because there's some great stuff over here. Like the whole of Alias is on Disney Plus, which is like, so it's actually a really good streaming platform. I have to say, like, I really like the look of it as well. I think it's a very easy one to navigate compared to like Amazon Prime Video. I think is a mess.
No, Amazon Prime's gotten better, and I really like their video player. You can just go back 10 seconds. And there's no lag or anything.
Oh, that I like the little trivia bits it shows
and
as
the
well.
insights.
Yeah.
Disney Plus, their player is just kind of basic, and I'm not a big fan of it. And to rewind and fast forward is a bit lag too.
I like the simpleness of Disney Plus though. I do think the worst one in a weird way is Netflix. I don't know what it is about Netflix, but it just confuses me. Whenever I go on there, I can never find anything to watch, even though there's like loads of stuff. I don't know what it is about that.
I think it's just because it's too crowded. It just seems like it's too crowded, you know.
There's too much stuff. That's why I ended up watching that Adi Shankar series the other day. Oh, here we go.
That's what it looks like on here in Canada. It's just you're just missing a few sections.
Yeah, we have Star next to National Geographic, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's mostly just a bunch of you can go by you could pick your favorite IP or whatever, and then there's just a bunch of extra Disney crap.
Yeah, West Side Story is on Disney Plus now. Hey, it's me.
Oh, what's going on here?
I don't know. Right, should we start? Should we start like very briefly talking about the Batman? And no spoilers. There will be no spoilers.
There'll be none of that.
None of that crap. So I loved it.
I loved it too. I loved every second of it. Are you kidding me?
I loved every second, every like hour that passed. I was like, I am in literal heaven. I am in Batman heaven.
All 3 times?
All 3 times. The second time I was a bit tired, I think. So I did have some yawns in there, but it wasn't because I was bored of the movie. Tonight I was gripped thoroughly again. I think this movie is like
give me a thumbs up when you guys are done talking.
Okay,
you got it.
I'm not going to give it now. I think this movie is like a David Fincher Batman film. It's like Seven meets Saw in a weird way. I thought Paul Dano was terrific in it. Robert Pattinson is already probably going to become my favorite Batman. If you know, like here we were told that the Batman trilogy is already in the works or is about to be greenlit by Warner Brothers. I'm not surprised to hear that news because I think Matt Reeves has done an incredible job with this movie. He co-wrote the film as well. I love the score. The soundtrack is amazing. I've been listening to something in the way by Nirvana on a loop. I love the new Batman theme. I think is terrific. Michael Giacchino, I think that's how you pronounce his name, did the score. He's done a lot of like Disney stuff in the past, but it's just knocks out of the park with this one. I think Zoe Kravitz is amazing as Catwoman. Colin Farrell is incredible as the Penguin, unrecognizable, brilliant. I think that there is so much in this movie. This is the first Batman film that I've ever watched where I've been like, this is like watching a Batman comic. Batman is an actual detective in this movie. I loved that. I think he's a lieutenant in this. Lieutenant James Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, I just love the two of them together. Him and Batman together, I think works so well. Everything. I just love it to bits. I love this movie to bits. What did you think of it?
I couldn't agree with you more, man. Like the whole thing was good. The feel was dark And again, I'm upset they never told us what's in the box. Like I still don't know what's in the box. No, it had that Seven feel.
Yeah.
And I started wondering, I was like, would future Batmans be like this? Like, because they really made him a detective, and I don't know. I think you could take it out where it wasn't quite such a noir detective-y kind of a movie with a different villain, but maybe because it's the Riddler and everything was a question and a riddle, that he was in full-on detective mode in this. Maybe he has different gears that he can shift into, you know. And we're gonna see, and no spoilers, but by the end, you know, there's a character growth for him too. So I think by the end of it, it's believable that, hey, every movie might not be just a detective movie, but they sure do a great job of just keeping a cool dark vibe. It's beautiful. Like every shot that they make in this movie, like, I mean, there's a scene where this isn't really a spoiler, but where he looks down into his rearview mirror of his motorcycle, and he's
Yes.
looking at what's in the background. And I was like, what a cool shot. It's really real, because you're thinking like, hey, is this guy would probably, because of the way that things were laid out ahead of time, would be looking behind him right about now. And he does it. And the way it's filmed is beautiful. The way we saw in the trailer, how you have there's, after a car chase, you see Penguin like, you know, in the wreckage of his
Upside
car, and
down,
you see his boots slowly walking forward. There's times where Batman comes out of the shadows. There's just a lot of cool, there's times where the first introduction of Riddler was like, wow, what a cool shot. I'm not revealing anything, but like there's a whole lot of things like that are super cool. The graceful way that we saw in one of the trailers, where that Catwoman and Batman are fighting when he drops in, when she's trying to rob or break into a place, they get into a little fight, and it's eloquent. It's like a dance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like akin to when we saw in Shang-Chi, where Shang-Chi's dad was fighting with his mom, you know, and like it's almost it's almost choreographed almost, and then there's tension between them where they're like close to each other. It's their introduction. There is like it's beautiful. The whole thing was shot beautifully. The colors, the tone, the music, the vibe, everything. It's a completely different feeling than any of the Batmans that we've seen. It's completely different feel, and it's lovely, and it's fresh and welcome, and I'm super pleased with it. I'm definitely going to go see it one more time in the theater. I think it'll be what is like 45 days before it's on HBO. But I'm definitely going to go see that again, just because it was the sound was awesome. The Batmobile was badass.
Oh my god, yeah, so good.
Super cool. The whole thing, and the tech was cool. It didn't feel too smart. Almost analog in a weird way.
Yeah,
but then
I liked it.
then you had certain things that were way more advanced. But then when you're like looking at the monitors that they're watching on, and it's like, why does this look analog? But you got like it is really cool. Like just the whole feel.
He has an actual eject button. I noticed for when he wanted to print things out. I was like, I love that.
His suit is awesome.
Oh god, yeah, so good.
The action, the whole thing was great, and again, it was a different feel. And this is a mystery movie, and it's also horrifying. It's a horror movie, and all of the characters shined. I heard people on another YouTube channel that were talking smack about Paul Dano. Paul Dano did a great job. He played a complete psychopath, and it was great and disturbing.
Perfect casting. Like
perfect.
When I first heard that he'd be playing the Riddler, I was like, oh my god, like that is amazing. If you've seen like There Will Be Bloods, if you've seen Little Miss Sunshine, where he literally doesn't say a word until the end of that movie, he is such a talented actor, and I've watched it 3 times now, as I said before, and his performance just gets better and better. Like there are little things that he does with his face that you're like, I could see like elements. Weirdly enough, I could see elements of Jim Carrey's Riddler in there. Like there's a manic sort of just insanity to his character. And I love the fact that, I mean, we'll talk about this in more detail in a future spoiler cast, but there's some things that he believes and things that you are made to believe that he thinks. This is a difficult sentence to say. And it's not until the second time that I was like, oh, actually, the first time I watched it, I was wrong in the thinking. You might know what I'm talking about. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where there's some sort of revelation that happens that actually might not actually be the revelation we all think it is.
Right.
And I loved that. I loved every scene with him. Like, even out of the mask, I think he kind of becomes even better in a weird way. I know a lot of people said, "Oh, the mystery is not really a mystery." And I was like, yeah, but it's not really about that. It's more about the journey of seeing Batman kind of piece together all these clues and literally finally be a detective in one of these movies. I hope they keep that aspect of it, of the character, throughout these films that they do. I'm pretty sure they will do, because Batman's rogue gallery is literally, there is so much of that in Batman's comics as well. There's so much of him trying to solve a mystery, solve what's going on. Like, there's so much of the Long Halloween in this movie. There's so much of Year 2 in this film. I'm pretty sure that Matt Reeves is a massive fan of Batman comics. This was the first Batman film that I've ever watched where I've actually been like, this feels like I'm watching a Batman comic come to life. The fact that Bruce Wayne, or Batman, is narrating a lot of this film is very indicative of what it's like to read a Batman comic, because there's always a narration going on. I actually think, like, this movie puts a lot of other comic book movies to shame. It does. Watching it, I was like, this is. I said it in my kind of spoilerish review I did on Small Screen Stories. I was like, if you really want someone like Martin Scorsese to think that comic book movies can be cinema, don't show him Joker, show him this, because I think he would be much more interested in a film like this rather than a film that just steals a lot of his ideas.
Yeah, and this thing was like, very much like Mindhunter, or like, trying to catch the Zodiac killer or something, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of cool stuff in it. None of it seems larger, like too much larger than life than what maybe some super parkour athletes could handle if they had the right gadgets, you know what I mean? Like he goes in, he's wearing armor and he fights with people, and it's pretty realistic. There's no superpowers. There's like, this is a guy out there who's disturbed because his parents were killed when he was a little kid, and he's going out there and beating the hell out of some criminals. And then he's going in and solving trying to solve a case. So it's super cool, man. I really enjoyed this movie. Again, I can't wait to see it again. Super.
One thing I really loved about this film was the fact that that Gordon brings him into the crime scenes, and I loved seeing the reaction of the GCPD, like, just seeing him. I thought that was so good, and the more I watched, I'm like, Batman is literally Sherlock Holmes, like, in this movie. Like, he's the smartest guy in the room by far, and immediately goes into a crime scene and knows what to look for, and is picking out all the clues, so much so that this is a bit of a spoiler, but I just thought it was a really good scene. One of the women that's documenting everything, that's taking photos of everything, literally is just following him around the crime scene.
Yeah.
Like, photographing everything that he just stops and looks at. And Robert Pattinson, oh my God, like, I said this before, but I think he's the best that we've ever had as Batman. I heard some people saying that his Bruce Wayne is a bit weak. No, it's not weak. It's a very different version of Bruce Wayne that we've ever seen before. People have called him emo. I mean, yes, he is an emotional Bruce Wayne.
Well, he's young. He's young, and he's just getting into. That's what one thing I thought was cool about Peacemaker let you realize that these guys dressing up in suits and going out and beating people up and shooting people are psychopaths. Like if we had a person that really did that, like you don't like they did a really good job at like making you realize, oh, vigilante is a psychopath that is willing to kill people. Like and that really got me thinking about it. And I started thinking about Batman even before I saw this movie. And I'm like, yeah, that's what this guy is. This guy is a guy who is like taking vengeance out on the world and trying to defeat criminals or kill or not kill but beat the hell out of people that hurt people because his parents were killed. That's if I did that, like they would lock me up somewhere. You know what I mean? That is a weird condition to be willing to go sneak out and hide in the shadows at night and think about your downtown of where you live and think about if somebody went out in the middle of the night and beat the hell out of people. Like that's what we're dealing with here. And it's so, yeah, he's a weird young, not quite stable guy who's going out in the dark and beating up people. And by the end of it, there's some character growth and it makes you think, hey man, this guy's going to grow and get smarter. And I could see him maturing into a more like, I won't say more familiar Batman, but a different Batman that we're also used to, you know?
I completely agree with you. And I think we'll end the Batman discussion there because we'll have to let James come back in at some point. So yes, we're done, James.
Thumbs up. So yeah, thumbs up for this show. This movie, it was fantastic.
It was brilliant. Now here he is. You're back.
Thank
James.
you.
So anyway, when Dr. Freeze, oh, sorry, James. Just kidding.
I knew you were going to do something like that.
Chill out.
Yeah, the multiverse of madness comes into the Batman universe in this movie.
The best part is at Alamo Drafthouse, the theater that I go to, they like to pull up classic PSAs and stuff like that, and they have before the movie they have Arnold Schwarzenegger watching the film of his wife, and then the guy comes in and is like, "Oh, Mr. Freeze," and he's like, "I hate when people talk during the movie." It's the best.
I think we lost James again. I think
he probably thought I was going to do a spoiler. I'm like, dude, you're not going to the Alamo Drafthouse. You're good.
You lie.
No, there you go.
There we go. Have we covered everything?
Yes.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
I thought you were going to bring someone else in with that.
I will say one last thing, and I'm only going to say this. It's not going to reveal anything in the movie, James.
That's okay. I'm just going to mute it still.
Yeah. Is that Colin Farrell to me stole the show in this movie, and everyone else was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, as Edward would say. But Colin Farrell blew me away with his makeup and the glimmer in his eye.
Can't hear anything, but man, does he look serious right now?
Yeah, like the glimmer in his eye, and he would say something, and then even like look, and he'd have like a diabolical twinkle in his eye that like I couldn't even believe that was makeup. That it was so good, and it makes me very excited for the new Penguin series that's going to happen. Whether Batman is involved in that series or not, I don't know how they're going to do that, but I'm very excited to see that show because Colin Farrell just like I like perked up every time he was on screen. I was stoked, like I was delighted, and I was just smiling at like the whole time. I was like, dude, he's so good in this role. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, when I say I'm going in blind, I'm going in blind. It's hard to do in the industry I'm in, but I'm still going in blind.
Yeah, you are.
Read reviews. I only watched the first trailer. That's it.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it.
That is a good way to do it.
There's only a few franchises I'm like with that. Well, you guys know. Otherwise, I'm just like, I don't care. I'll just all the spoilers, all the impressions, and then I'll go watch it and make up my own mind.
Hell yeah.
But a brand new relaunch in Batman with this director and this actor, then yeah, I'm definitely going in blind. So
yeah, you'll
well, don't say
I'm not going to say anything. You'll hate it, dude. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
I did have a question though.
That we're gonna wrap up the show. Yeah.
Are we wrapping it up? Is that what's happening?
I think we're all done. It's
all right.
4 a.m. there, Edward?
Oh yeah, it's time to go. And actually, I'll probably open a huge can of worms if I ask this question, so I'm not even going to go there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Are we good?
I think we're good. Yeah. Man, what an exciting show. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out. Edward, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Small Screen Co. and EJ Lauder. Yeah, there I am. Where can we find you, Clint?
Speaking of riddles, can you identify what this shirt says?
Hose be lion.
Hose be lion.
Man, I really need like a rim shot.
Where can you find me? You know where to find me. You could find me right here. And also at the OG Clint Baker is my Twitter and Instagram handle. So yeah. And
YouTube.com/Clint Baker channel.
Are you having a stream, Clint? Bobby asks. Yes, I will be having a stream later for sure. So I'll be
that sounds like you need to go to the loo or something.
I actually do. I am about to have a stream in just a moment, and then we'll be having another stream with Bakertown. And we watched Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. We're going to be comparing those two, and then talking about other fun current events in the entertainment world. So I might even get into a little. If people ask some questions, I might even get into a little bit of Batman spoiler stuff, but not much. Not much. It's still
Prepare
early.
to lose half your audience.
Yeah, I don't want. I take it back. We won't talk about Batman. I do have a big question about Batman, though, that I want to ask the world, but we'll talk about it later.
Interesting. Where can we find you, James?
42.com.
Go there. Follow.
No,
Make it so.
There. Just a bunch of tweets that say "Watch Doom Patrol." You can't find my YouTube channel though. I do some like small little funny videos that I put up sometimes. I got my Star Trek one that took a dig at Seinfeld and how Silicon Valley really should have ended, and my Demolition Man one is at like 50,000 views or something. So, yeah.
Guys, can I read out a comment we just that I just got on one of my articles on Small Screen?
Is it about the Batman?
Yeah, it's about no, it's not. It's about the rumors about Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz having sex.
I can't believe how many people still read that article.
I know it was months ago that I wrote about it. So I actually contacted someone that worked on the movie and asked them if there was any truth to these rumors that certain YouTubers and 4chan people were spreading about Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson being caught having sex on the set. And they said the rumors were absolute rubbish. So I wrote an article about it. And then someone wrote this underneath just literally 10 minutes ago saying, while I don't believe the rumor, myself, that's not good grammar, but never mind. This is some real shit journalism. You interviewed Zoe Kravitz and she's lovely. So what? Are you meant to infer? I think you mean infer, mate. That gives you insight into sex life? ? Also, nobody in the film industry uses 4chan ? That sounds so out of touch. You probably can't see the humor in it. It's a gross site. Although 4chan is a gross site. Although FYI, Twitter was found to be the source of 30% of the internet's kiddie porn, and I bet you that you still go there.
You would know.
Yeah. But it's exactly the sort of place someone would anonymously post something like this if it wouldn't make more sense to sell it to a tabloid. In short, stick to the facts. Don't bury the lead. Be a better writer. Warner, have fun, have a nice life. I wanted to do this. I want to talk to you personally. I know you're not going to be watching this, but this person has problems, and I hope you're all right. Maybe go and ask someone for a hug or something, and yeah, have a nice life. Thanks for commenting.
Yeah, and maybe go write a Yelp review or something.
Yeah.
If you're that bored, yeah. Do they have Yelp in the UK?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have Yelp. Yeah.
That's what that sounds like to me, a Yelp thing. My food was just okay, but I didn't appreciate that there was no napkins in the lobby. I think whoever's job is to restock the napkins should get fired. Also, I don't like the forks that y'all have. Like, dude, some people have no life. Like, you gotta have zero.
Don't feed the trolls, guys.
I'm just saying, you gotta have zero going on, dude. Like, oh man.
Baker Town came with the best comment. It says, "Does Warner have a brother?"
Oh man, that was good.
Well done.
Maybe
well
that was Warner. Maybe it's the Hamada getting even.
You know what? I think I should do. We should do a stream where we just read mean comments of the small screen website.
Oh, that's a video, man. That's a video.
Everyone being like, "This journalist sucks. He can't write." Oh, and then like the grammatical errors in these comments are hilarious.
Well, there's this one guy that was always constantly harping in the comments, and then so I found him on Twitter, and then I went to his live stream and I called him on it.
Oh, was it actually a streamer?
Yeah, that Marvel historian guy. And then like they had to they said, okay, you know what, we're gonna stop the stream and we'll cut this out when the stream is done and stuff. But he hasn't commented since. Oh yeah, like it's fine when they're anonymous and they want to trash you.
Yeah.
But once they're like a human being, then they're like, oh, okay, that better be different. Especially when this guy is a reporter himself. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh well.
So I think Raj is right. I don't have any dark bodies there, but I can find anyone.
Yes. James is hiding in the shadows.
He will find you. We're gonna go into Liam Neeson territory again.
Oh yes. The journalist.
I don't know who you are, but I have a special set of skills.
Particular set of skills.
I have a particular.
Is the IP tracer.
Oh dear.
The YouTuber.
The YouTuber. I will find you and I will publicly shame you on your own stream.
Yeah.
Well done, Jim.
Well,
He deserved it. He deserved it. I normally don't do that stuff, but I mean, like, he was saying some nasty stuff.
It was a lot. It was a lot of comments. I remember the guy was posting a lot of comments on the site. But the funny thing is posting comments on the site is actually good for the site. So
yeah. Well, any interaction is good for anything, right? But
yeah, exactly. Call this Spooky wants us to call the comments small screen nightmares.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. Oh dear. But yeah, I mean that one I just wanted to read out because I saw it pop on my phone and I was like, that's actually quite funny. So
that reminds me of the Cardi B. Cardi B wanted to thank all the haters who talk about her because it benefits me. Oh, yeah.
That's brilliant.
Hopefully, in like 4 decades, people will realize that there's actually people on the other end of the phone, and they start behaving like human beings. That would be nice. Yeah.
Well, also that there's much more important things going on in the world than an article about Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson not having sex,
or napkins in the lobby.
6 months ago. Or even longer. It was last
year. Yeah, it was ages ago that I posted that. And yes, I have interviewed Zoe Kravitz, and she was lovely. I think I just put that in as like reference, which I think it does. You know, you can go and see the interview I did with Zoe Kravitz. I was the one journalist that managed to make her smile that day, and it was literally because I asked her about another movie that she actually liked being in.
It was 1 year ago. And it was a year and 2 weeks ago that article.
Wow.
There's a cool looking movie on HBO Max with her in it.
Sorry, Clint. I gotta say one more thing.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to cut you off.
The guy who commented. No. It just hit me. The guy who commented was the guy who wrote the 4chan leak.
Do you think?
Oh yeah. No, I'm just joking. But I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past them either. The guy was literally defending 4chan, even though he says it's a horrible site, but someone might go there to share some news. It's like, no, they won't. No. No. Anyway. But what was the movie that she's in?
It's she's got blue hair.
Oh yes, is that coming out soon?
It's out now. I was about to watch it. What the hell is it called? Oh, it's called Kimmy.
Kimmy. She's great. I love Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, and it looks like a cool sci-fi
Kimmy Possible.
She'd be good as Kim Possible. That would be good casting, actually. I loved that show growing up. That cartoon. Oh.
Yeah, this is
Dead Air. That's what this is.
That's
no matter where you go, there you are.
Oh, there she is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's hideous.
She has very good wigs.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to see that movie real bad. I'll let you know next week. I almost watched it yesterday. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Hit that subscribe button, gang.
Hit that motherfucking subscribe button.
It's okay with me.
I swore, don't you?
I'm very busy. What's going on?
Yeah, James is very busy, so he's got to go.
Yeah, and you know that stream. I'm about to have that stream in my chair if I don't get out of here. If I don't get off. If we don't end this stream. So and then I gotta get ready for my next stream. So
this has been the longest live stream I've done in a while. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, sticking with us, and we'll see you next week, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. See you next week, guys.
See you.
No matter where you go.
Sorry, go ahead, Clint.
See you next Friday.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Cunt. See you next Friday.